Hello.
Hey.
Hello. And welcome to episode 77.
8?
God damn it.
78, I think.
Are you sure?
Oh, everything was going good until then.
Are you sure?
Very sure.
78.
Must be on the SD card. Hey, welcome to episode 78 of Schnozzcast for Sunday, June 21st.
Start again.
God damn it. Sunday, June 21st, 2020. Happy Father's Day.
For your father.
That was perfect. I was I had no reference to what's a good Father's Day gag. To all the dads out there, hope you enjoyed yourself today and did absolutely fuck all, except for maybe spending inside with your lousy kids. Those ungrateful little shits.
Is that from personal experience? Or?
No, my kids are great.
Love my kids.
Yeah, we've got dinner plans for tomorrow.
Jack and Diane?
Should be a fun dinner, huh?
So
You're not going to have to beat the crowds.
well, you can't go anywhere. So I heard.
Not true.
Well, okay.
Well,
The places that you could go, I don't have a catalog list of all the different places that are open. So I just go, where do I want to eat? And I look on the website and they go, closed for dine-in, open for curbside. Ooh. And that's what I do. I was like, all right. I've had lots of practice. I've months, literally, of getting curbside service, bringing it back, and eating at home. I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. I even know the restaurants that do it well, that have a little lane carved out right in front, and they look for the make and model of your car. You pull up, and they give you your food, and you're on your fucking way.
that's what you're going to do?
Yeah.
So you're still not dining in?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
But the bar's fine?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Different clientele.
I'm only putting myself at risk.
So your kids aren't going anywhere
For
themselves.
the sake of the podcast, I, along with these two fine gentlemen, whom I'll introduce in a second, will put ourselves at great personal risk for you, just for your entertainment. Let that be known. Let it be said.
Powerful.
Yeah, that's. So this morning I got I got up. I think I woke up at 4. Was up until 6. Went back to bed until 9, and got up. And by the time noon came, I'm like, I hadn't heard from anyone.
Who were you supposed to hear from?
Well, generally on Father's Day, you hope to hear from your children. So I
It
hadn't
was
heard,
on noon.
I hadn't, right. So I'm like, it's,
what,
my kids generally don't
18
even
and
get up
21?
before noon. Right. So Cecilia was out, she's out staying at her boyfriend's parents' place, hanging out for the weekend. Mm-hmm. So I knew there wasn't going to be any, normally it would be oh, let's go to, Dad, would you want to go to Bob Evans and get some biscuits and gravy?
Ponderosa,
for breakfast?
something like that.
I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that's exactly what I want. But there's going to be none of that today. So I'm like, all right, well, let's...
Bob looking at his phone.
God damn it. No, I wasn't worried at noon because, shit, my son will sleep in until 2.
You just said you were worried at noon.
No, I noticed that at noon. I'm like, that's weird. Haven't heard from anybody.
But how's that weird? Because you said you weren't worried at noon.
I wasn't worried at noon. I just happened to notice. I'm like, oh, it's noon.
I was just pissed at noon.
Haven't heard from anyone.
so
I
what
wasn't pissed. I was
like-
just like, that's interesting. It's very interesting.
So Father's Day isn't like a birthday kind of thing. 12:01 a.m. Hey, happy Father's Day. Dad.
No,
nothing like that.
No. Dads are every dad out there knows if there's a hierarchy, you are on the fucking bottom. You're the low man on the totem pole, literally. And that's okay. No problem with that. That's the place where you should be. But that has its drawbacks sometimes when you want to feel a little special. You want to feel like a lady.
Hopefully you don't want to do any of those things around your children, but
No.
I never wear my...
You want to feel a little bit, when you're a dad,
feel a little special.
when you're
or
a dad,
like a lady.
you don't get presents anymore, really.
What?
You don't get presents.
For Father's Day? You
Well,
don't?
for Father's Day, you might get a little something, but it'll be like birthday minus 25%. It'll be 75% of the total birthday impact. It'll be like a gift card to Lowe's, or like, hey, let's go out to dinner, but guess who's buying?
Dad.
Exactly.
What? No.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, unless you have grown kids.
Your kids are younger.
If your kid,
so.
right? If your kids are working for a living, then they should fucking take you out to breakfast. Goddamn it, and that's the way that it should be.
I tried that this morning.
You did?
Yeah.
To take yourself out for breakfast? Switch the... All right, Alan. That's helpful information if I knew how to do that.
What was?
He says, switch the swisher transitions to cross dissolve. Yeah, whatever that means.
All right, Alan, I can take care of that.
No, I'll have to take care of that. He's just going to have to be a little more verbose at the direction.
It'll have to be in 5 weeks.
Or are you
he's
saying
not
in
caught
switcher,
up yet.
not in the mixer?
The switcher mixer.
Oh, sweet. That's not even my problem.
Oh, yeah, I thought he meant this.
All right, so
Thank you, Alan.
Alan, please impart that vital information to Corey.
So who do we have at
ASA
the
fucking
table
me.
here?
Yeah, we're getting to that. To my left.
Hang on.
What?
That's episode 78, ladies and gentlemen, of the
Yeah.
Schnozzcast. Thanks for joining us.
Anyway, so let me finish this. Let me finish the story so people don't think my children are monsters, because they're not. So I did finally hear about, oh, hey, happy birthday, Dad. Hey, we're going to take you out for breakfast tomorrow morning.
They said happy birthday on Father's
Sorry.
Day?
That's a weird
I
thing
said
to have to
happy-
say.
I said happy birthday
Well, at least
now.
you're getting a better present.
I've literally I've had one beer.
Present has gone up 25%.
I've had one beer. They said happy Father's Day. We'd like to take you out for breakfast tomorrow morning. I go, I'm working tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
which is
Father's Day morning.
correct.
It's too busy on Father's
It's
Day. Who
yeah.
wants to go
Where
out
would
on
you?
Father's
Why
Day?
would we? No.
That's almost
I
like
get to sleep in on Sunday. Why we're not going out to breakfast with you? So I go, I'm working on Monday. Oh, okay. Well, we could do dinner. We could do breakfast or dinner. I go, well, why can't we do dinner then? I'm good until 8:30.
wherever you'd like to pay.
Okay, no problem. This is me talking to Jack, and then I get a message from Cecilia, who's still out on the west side of Michigan, 2 hours away, going, yeah. So love you. Happy Father's Day. Sorry. We've had our challenges together, sort of connecting, but I love you. So happy to have you as my dad, et cetera, et cetera. Looking forward to dinner with you tomorrow.
little
I'm like,
heavy-handed.
what? Dinner tomorrow? I would tell me dinner tonight.
She's on the west side of the state, Bob.
But she was going to come back by 6.
No.
And I'm like, I'm free till 8:30. That's totally fine. She's like, okay, great. And then Jack's like, no, I'm working tonight. I'm at dinner tomorrow night. I go, okay, so on a day that's not Father's Day, that's what you meant that day?
Hey, take it what you can get, Bob.
I think they call it Father's Monday.
That's exactly, I'm going to take it as I get. And from now on, it will be Father's Monday.
Father's Monday.
Yeah.
That's almost, if you don't want to have a negative connotation to it, that's almost ingenious. Because who wants to go out on Father's Day? First of all, like you said, you can sleep in. Second of all, you know how packed the restaurants are going to be on Father's Day? Who wants to go out in that? I wouldn't.
Very true. I do think, though, it's the term ingenious is only used because of who thought of the idea.
Who thought of it?
You? Oh, Nick?
Yeah.
I didn't think of it.
You
Jack and
just said it.
Cecilia thought of it.
You called it ingenious, though.
Well, I'm trying to give accolades to your kids.
Well, you're
But
the first one.
As
You're
you've
the
said
very
before,
first one.
as you said before, my kids are not smart.
That's not going away anytime soon. To my left, the ingenious Mr. Nick Bader. Hey. And some guy who needs to take a lozenge.
Yes.
Across from me.
We'll go to Nick's right.
Oh,
is that
camera
what we're
right?
doing?
Yeah.
Camera right? Stage right?
We're taking turns introducing people? Well, shouldn't he be introducing you then?
No, that's fine.
What? Okay, so who introduces you then? You introduce yourself?
One of you guys can after.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man who gives Willy a run for his money, Mr. Cory Lebowski-Selesky.
Well, that didn't work out as
Yes,
planned.
it did.
But okay.
Yes, it actually did. That's exactly what's supposed to happen.
That's not what was supposed to happen.
Clockwise. Why would the two of us introduce each other and then you sit there like a man on an island all by yourself?
He is on an island.
Just the way the names go up.
Okay. I see what you're
I think
But I got it figured out.
a floating version of that is Corey's what I would bring to my island thing. As long as all these other things were connected and he was connected, I think he'd be completely fine just floating around on that table.
This is very true.
That's probably true.
So across from me, on my my left-ish, Mr. Bob Rankin.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hey.
God damn it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your line. I have to come up with something else.
That's all right. I didn't.
Guten Tag.
I didn't get to put mine out there since the introductions got all messed up. But
You are welcome, sir.
All right. As far as housekeeping goes, the only thing I really have is I mentioned this to you, Cory, the other day, which I thought was pretty cool, was that I have to follow through with the actual process, which looks like it's kind of involved, but to me, totally worth it. But as of the last 7 days, IMDb is now accepting podcasts for reference entries.
Oh, God.
Yes, that's what you were telling me.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
I'm fucking jazzed. I use IMDb all the goddamn time.
It would be pretty sweet if we were on there.
I think so. The fact that you could search for Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, Brad Pitt, and the Schnozzcast.
Yeah.
Wait, do our names go in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can search my own name on IMDb.
That's the point. Yeah.
Well, that would be pretty sweet.
Yes. So
I'm not disagreeing with you by any means.
All right. I thought it was really cool.
No, that sounds awesome.
It's I think it was the group that you subscribed us to, Podcast Movement.
Oh, yeah.
They sent a thing saying, hey, this process kind of sucks, and here's like a 12-step process for I could do it, but you could actually get it to work. So I'm like, great. As soon as I have 4 hours to spare, I will give it a try.
Well,
excellent.
From 4 a.m. till noon next time when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Take 4 of those hours. And
do something productive.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Your kids aren't taking you out to breakfast. So.
No.
Don't have to be up all the time butt crack of dawn
in the world.
I mean, all you're doing is having your dog lick yourself awake on the couch. So,
well, that's not by command. That's just
by his own doing.
That's a perk.
That's a good helping of peanut butter,
that
my
is a
friend.
Perk. No, thank God it doesn't take peanut butter.
Finally, I was able to get rid of the peanut butter. He just does it on his own.
I don't need to be sharing my peanut butter with my kids and my dog.
Gross. And thank you, Alan.
Not concurrently.
That's how I get Jack and Cecilia to come see me too.
Did you get it fixed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a simple fix. But
what was he saying the outcome was?
So like when the screens switch over, for like if I switch over from you directly over to me, it just was doing like a flat switch over. Now it does like a fancy cross dissolve.
Little fancy cross dissolve.
Okay.
Switch over.
Alan's a little fancy. That's really what you're saying.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But, I mean, we do have him to credit for the Switcher Studio.
Oh, no. When Alan speaks, we listen.
This is true.
For sure. And then we get our wallets because it's going to cost us.
When Alan types, we read.
Speaking of which, Alan, thank you for recommending the Netgear, whatever MIFI card that you have. I'm sorry.
The what?
The MIFI card. MIFI.
Gesundheit.
Yes.
Okay.
That was $649.
Ooh.
Should that be MiFi?
Start saving.
MiFi.
Do you connect to a Wi-Fi
MiFi.
network or a Wi-Fi network?
I connect to my Wi-Fi.
It's not a semi-tractor trailer.
It's not?
No.
All these years.
All right. Okay. Cory, do you have any booze news articles you want to share?
I do.
All right. Why don't you go first? Oh, root beer ice is
Oh, it's getting there.
Slowly going down.
Yeah, it's getting there.
So to start out booze news.
Oh boy.
This was discussed the other day.
The other day.
But the Japanese have come up with something quite masterful that kind of fits in with our little bit of a theme here at the podcast. And that would be their poo paint toilet paper to make art with your poop.
I didn't even know it was going there, and I just predicted what
you totally did. He's sitting over here. Well, the great part is now they could see because we're split screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they could see Nick going, "Oh, here it comes. Here it fucking comes. Toilet paper." It's poop related, isn't it? So sorry. I was a little distracted with that. Once again, Japanese are doing what now?
So from high-tech Japanese toilets to poo museums and cute excrement ice cream, Japan has long had a close affinity with poop. When it comes to welcoming first-time toilet users to the fold, Japan knows how to put on a party. And that's what's happening right now with the release of poo paint toilet paper.
We're going to have to edit all this out.
Yeah.
Why do we have to edit it?
We could leave it in, and so that there'll be a historical record of, like, that's when they lost all their listeners.
Yeah, that's fine.
The poop paint toilet paper.
That's right.
Yeah.
Continue.
Designed to make potty training fun and entertaining, the poo paint toilet paper looks so amusing that both kids and adults will want to give it a try. After all, it's the first time we've heard of painting with poo not only being permitted, but encouraged.
Hold on a second. What are they doing?
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So when we get through,
it colors your butt or what?
Does the explanation start with first you grab some poop?
No,
If it starts with that, we could just cut it at the knees.
End it right here.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't even know. I just saw the article. I'm like, I'm saving this, and we're talking about it.
You hadn't even read it. Okay.
No,
we're all gonna
find out together.
Yep. Here we go.
Oh, wonderful.
Here it is.
And who with a butt can resist that? As the pictures show, all you need to create your very own poop masterpiece is the leftover excrement from your butthole.
Yep, that's
okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
we're done.
Yep.
You don't want to finish the article?
No.
Why not?
No.
It is. It's not interesting.
There's something very different about a story in which you used a knife to cut poop and didn't actually touch it. The whole point is not to touch it, and a story in which you must touch it in order to do. Really, don't even.
I don't understand what.
I don't want to understand.
No.
So, just to give the listeners and viewers here an idea of what we were just discussing.
Oh God, why couldn't it be in Japanese?
It is in Japanese.
Designed to make
roll.
potty training fun. Oh my God, I'm so fluent in Japanese.
Well, you're ingenious.
Cory, was there anything else on this, or?
Well, I mean.
Oh, okay. No, all right. So I get where it's going. No. I gotta draw a personal line right here.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's like a connect the dots. It's like a connect the dots game. While you're wiping your ass.
I don't understand.
Well, most people are just like, let's get this over with, but they're like, oh, let's make it into a sport in which what I'm wiping out of my ass connects the dots and makes a picture of like a swan.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it is, and I'm ready to stop this right now.
Yeah, no, that's disgusting.
I just need to see what. Okay, so
No,
we're at the end of it. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, what do you need to see?
Like I said, I saw the title of the article, and
I feel like
that was that.
And that's where you really could have stopped it right at the title.
There are people canceling their trip to Japan right now.
They should have done that way
They're
before
Japanese
now.
booking flights out of Japan.
Yeah.
Well, that's booze news for this week.
Yeah. Poo news.
Do you have any other booze news, Cory?
No, that was my one go-to story.
So you put all your eggs.
I put all my eggs in one basket. That is correct.
All right, I'm gonna try to salvage this. So I have a couple of short ones. First of all, were you guys aware that there's a company or a website called Swimply?
No.
Apparently, this is like it's like an Airbnb for swimming pools. It's not yet in Michigan, but if you had like an above ground pool and you wanted to register with like an Airbnb type of a site to take reservations for people to come over and reserve your pool for the afternoon for a fee, you can do that.
Just the pool.
Just the pool. But some people are like, it depends. It varies wildly on, who's actually advertising. So it could be in ground, it could be above ground. They might say, we've got a 27-foot round pool. It's roughly 4.5 feet tall, about 6 inches or so deeper in the middle. We have some pool floats. It's about 83 degrees. We hope you'll have a great time. And other people are like, there's steps. You can get in. We also have a pool house with a bar and a full bathroom for $50 an hour.
It's pretty steep.
Well, the first one was only 15, but if you're going to go for the one with the bar and the full bathroom, that's 50.
Yeah, the above ground pool, like just a very basic run of the mill Midwest pool.
Yes.
Was $15.
Right, and the second one's more like what you would call like a cement pond.
Oh, what pond?
A cement pond.
Oh, a cement. Okay.
Yeah. I see where you went with that.
Just
Anyway,
so sticky.
The worst pond ever.
There's nothing else to say about that, other than the fact that I did not even know it existed.
No, that's really cool. I love the idea that all these small businesses are starting up, like the Lawn Guru and different things like that, where you can offer services that you wouldn't normally have done.
Yeah, we've had a lot of stories lately about little, sort of DIY sorts of things that.
My brother told me, he lives in Bad Axe. He was just here this weekend. He said that he has a service, and I forget the name of it. Corey probably will know. You might know.
Please don't say poo paint.
Nope.
Okay.
That while you're out of town, they will come to your house and take your dogs out and feed them. And it's like an Uber service that's all rated. And they will feed your dogs. If you pay them extra, they will do like an hour of playtime.
A dog sitter? Is that what you're referring to?
No, it's like a service, like an app.
Oh, dog sitting. Okay.
No, it's some kind of app, and if you pay, you can pay. You can have it come. They can come 3 times a day or whatever. But he said it was like for 2 days or something, because they wanted the 3 times a day feeding, 3 times a day let them out, and an hour of playing and throwing a ball, and it was like $150
Right,
or something.
and the notion of that, the concept of it is not new, but to put it in an app,
Yes.
to have like many different
And
businesses,
it's
be able
rated
to,
and everything like that.
You can choose.
I feel like Greg might be a little behind the times. I'm pretty sure that app's been around for quite some time.
Yeah?
I'm sure it might be, but
Okay.
I had never heard of it, and of course I'm the only one in the room that doesn't have a pet, so.
That's true.
But I thought that was kind of cool. I just thought it was weird that you're giving a stranger a key to your house.
Well, it's the same thing
Well,
as renting
but-
your pool out or your house out as an Airbnb.
No, those fuckers aren't coming in your house.
Right,
They're
with the
using
pool.
your outdoor.
Well, yeah, for the pool, it's a little, but still, you have people on your property in your backyard.
It's amazing. They've been
like-
drinking lemonade, and they've been here for 4 hours, and no one's had to go to the bathroom.
Well, I was gonna say, dude, yeah, the pool's looking a little cloudy. But if you're gonna allow them access to your pool house and your bar, might as well let them in your house.
Normally people would do that, and it would be a friend or someone that you recommended, either a neighbor or a family member or someone like that who was going to come over, or who did that and was recommended by somebody.
Right.
But for you to be able to sort of shop around for the services and have them vetted through an app in which they're rated is maybe sort of a qualified next step to sort of scale the model out,
Right? Yeah.
which is always a good idea.
Their livelihood depends on those ratings, so if that's what they're doing.
Now, going back to the renting of the pools,
Yeah.
please tell me there's at least one on there with just a picture of a kiddie pool sitting on the grass in someone's backyard.
I did
$4.
I did search for Michigan because I wanted to know, is there people in my neighborhood doing this? It's not in Michigan yet. There's no Michigan pools, but it's down in Ohio, Toledo, Cincinnati, Dayton.
Oh, I know of one that'll be on that app.
I thought about you immediately, but I'm like, there's no fucking way your mom would ever let.
Oh, she doesn't have to let anyone.
Or you're just going to operate it's going to be like a risky business.
That's
sort of
great.
a business model.
Wow,
for
Corey,
you.
a lot of your
You guys-
friends have been coming over lately.
You guys can be here between 3:45 and 4:26.
Right.
Then it's time to head out.
I just picture some strange woman walking past your mom in the living room going, are there any extra mattresses upstairs we can use? Perhaps some clean sheets?
Any other floats?
All she would do, oh yeah, there's food in the kitchen too if you want to grab food. She wouldn't,
Yeah,
she
no, we're
wouldn't
more
question
looking
it.
for towels, cleaning supplies, mattresses, perhaps some prophylactics.
Any cash? Is there cash in the house?
Okay, so another quick story. We all are familiar with Cameo.
Oh yes,
We've
yes,
looked very well familiar with Cameo. They have a new way to interact with celebrities now called Zoom calls. So before you would do like a pre-recorded message where you could buy, let's see, for Gilbert Gottfried.
Who would ever do that?
Wish you happy birthday. Your rich friends in New Hampshire, in Providence, would do that for you. But now they do Zoom calls too. So the reason that they caught my eye was when I saw the very first celebrity that they listed was Jeremy Piven.
Who is that?
Jeremy Piven was in Entourage. You ever see Entourage, the show?
No.
He was in PCU, which is like a modern day like 90s Animal House.
I'm trying to think of a movie that Nick would have seen because he's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Smoking Aces.
Smoking Aces he was in. Was it Old School?
Yes, he was the dean in Old
He was
School.
the dean in Old School. Did you ever see Old School?
I did. I can't think of his face right now, but I'm sure I know who he is.
He's been around for a while, but he hasn't really done a lot in the movies lately. I don't know what he's doing exactly, whether it's theater work or whatever, but for a 10-minute Zoom call with Jeremy Piven, take a guess, not you because I know you can see it. Cory, take a guess at what you'd pay for that.
$2,400.
$15,000.
Shut the fuck up.
Nope. $15,000 for 10 minutes with Jeremy Piven on a Zoom call. Not shake his hand. He shows up at your front door, or you meet him in a hotel room to say hello. Zoom call.
That's absolutely insane.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
If you just want a video shout out, which is the same thing as what you normally get over Cameo, that's $400. But by comparison, Tony Hawk charges $1,000 for a Zoom call, and Brett Favre charges $5,000. I don't know how the fuck Jeremy Piven gets away with charging 3 times what Brett Favre charges. But you could have up to four family members or friends can join the call, and you have up to 24 hours before the call to cancel. If the celebrity doesn't show up, which I don't even know why you need to say that, apparently maybe it happens a lot, you get a refund. Just crazy that Jeremy Piven can charge $15,000. I don't know if anybody's actually taken that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
There's no way.
I don't know. They're starting another feature though coming out. It hasn't come out yet with called group chats, and you can subscribe to pay $5 a month to be in a group chat with a star, presumably, less money hungry than Jeremy Piven.
I would hope.
But they haven't launched it yet. So, all right, that's the Jeremy Piven's a dick segment of the story. And the last one I have is to Piggytail, a news story booze news story that we did maybe a week or two ago, in which I was the lone voice in the wilderness speaking out against the rise of the robots to kill us all.
Ah, yes.
And I happened to see a Boston Dynamics article today, or this week, about robots that they're using in Singapore to patrol a park to encourage social distancing. And this is what they look like.
Those dog ones?
Yeah. Yeah, they've presented a range of different gigs for this particular robot, from construction to telepresence. But last month, they announced they are partnering with local hospitals in Singapore interested in using these robots to perform remote visits for COVID-19 victims. And now they're using them to patrol parks and encourage social. So the idea is, if you're in Singapore and you're in a park and you're like, fuck this virus, I don't believe in it. I think it's a bunch of left-wing bullshit, and I want to get closer than 6 feet with you to talk. These fucking little dog things are going to come up to you and apparently try to separate you in some way.
I feel how I know the way they're going to separate you. They're just going to bite the shit out of you.
I don't know.
Or at least that's what I hope.
They don't
think there's any
They don't
biting.
appear to have any teeth.
No, but how long is it going to be before they all decide to band together and kill all the humans in the park? Not long, I think.
This is taking place where?
Singapore.
Oh, hopefully quick.
Singapore's Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park. Okay. So the robot broadcasts a recorded message that encourages social distancing. It also has cameras on board, too, that it uses to monitor those gatherings. But the government insists, which always works out, that they will not be using face tracking or collecting personal data from you in the park.
No, never.
The dogs are fitted with safety sensors to detect objects and people in their paths. They have built-in algorithms to detect an object or person within 1 meter of its proximity to avoid collision. They'll be accompanied by at least one parks officer during the trial period. If things go well, the robot will be allowed to patrol during peak hours, too.
Wow.
And again, I feel like I'm the only one that reads that article is like, that's fucking terrifying.
I love it.
Of course you would, Cory. That's booze news for the week. Kids. So are we...
We're more than 25 minutes in.
Great.
All right.
You
shot?
Sure. And then to go back to a topic that we kind of left off up in the kitchen one night after, I think it was 70. It was might have been the last podcast that we did.
Yeah.
Discussing the epic TV shows MASH and Married with Children. You guys recall that conversation?
I do. Whether or not they use laugh tracks?
No.
I feel like Married with Children's come up in the laugh track conversation.
It did.
Yeah.
Thank you for being very odd, Nick. No, it was just about how nowadays, especially the younger generation, wouldn't appreciate such a TV show, and how being an adult, going back and watching those shows now, how much more appreciative you are of them, and how different they are viewing them now. And then I think we found out too that MASH was the highest viewed TV show
Of all time.
of all time.
The finale.
The finale
The
was.
series finale. Yeah.
Series finale. Okay.
Yeah.
Until this day.
Until now or to this day? Like it still is.
Still is, yes.
Yeah, I still found that striking.
Well, I don't think it'll ever be beat now that we've got all these different platforms and, everybody and their brother has a streaming service now.
So, you schnozzers out there, if you'd like to take a shot with us, go ahead and pause us right now. And we're back. Time to do a shot.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh. That does not go down as smooth as the apple pie.
Beer slushy.
Your body must be like, oh my God, where have you been? You were coursing through our veins for 44 years.
I think my body's actually rejecting it.
You think so?
Yeah.
You almost killed us, Fireball. We finally got you out of our system.
Ooh. All right.
Stomach's going, what is he doing? I thought we got rid of this.
Rain down, sweet fireball. Rain down on me.
I think we're good.
Yeah?
It was sitting right here for a second.
Mr. Elsa, you thought you almost dried up, huh?
Ooh.
Yeah, let's get that bleeding going again.
Yeah.
So I have a question to pose to you guys.
Oh, boy.
What?
I heard it the other day on a talk show,
Okay.
and it kind of got me to thinking myself.
Yep.
And I went through the entire day thinking about this question, and even went home and researched what my answer would be.
Okay.
So if you guys had to choose one superpower to have for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
I was just recently asked this question by an 8-year-old.
Well, I'm glad
Swear to God.
the question spans many ages.
Yeah, I was. And my answer was invisible flight. And he didn't like that answer.
I can see why. It's kind of two.
You have to choose.
Yeah.
No, I don't. You didn't say I had to choose.
Yeah, but that is...
He didn't pose
don't-
it the way you did, though.
I don't like it
One
either.
superpower.
I don't like it either, though.
He said if you could have a superpower, so I just made up one, like invisible flight.
So, okay. So I will say this then. That's a fine answer.
Coolest skill in the world, but no one can tell I have it.
That, and you would never be able to be invisible when just walking on the ground. The only time you're invisible is when you're flying.
Exactly.
By definition, yeah, that's probably true.
That's what I'm saying. No one would know he has that power.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
No.
Bob's like,
but
hey, guys, watch this.
No, that's,
And then all of a sudden he just disappears.
I preserve my secret identity.
Did you guys see me fly? Dude, Bob.
I don't
we
need,
know
I
you
don't
can
need
go
a cape.
invisible.
I don't need a costume. I just go invisible and fly away. Done.
Naked. Flies naked all the time.
And that's
No,
the other.
why do I have to be naked?
Because
you're invisible.
again, yeah, you can't have your clothes aren't invisible.
Sure you can.
No.
I never stated naked invisible flight. I
as
and
a
everything
person,
I'm wearing
you-
become invisible.
Now that's almost 3 superpowers.
No.
Anything that touches you also turns invisible. That's
That's implied.
So if
No, it's not.
By invisibility, it's implied.
No.
If you any comic book you read that has somebody that can turn invisible, their clothes always also turn invisible.
So let's say anything that touches your body. So let's say you're giving your son a piggy jack ride. Would he also be invisible?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. If we were gonna do the if me and my lady were gonna do the Superman like hold hands like fly through the air like I can't remember what the song is now from Superman. Oh, can you read my mind?
Oh no, I don't think that was it.
I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah, she would be invisible too.
She would as well.
Yeah, anything I touch.
No.
I'm making the call, dude.
You're not the one posing the question. You can't make the call.
I know what mine would be.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll just take the flight. Fair enough. And we can
Just solely flight?
Well, now that's not good enough for you?
No.
I gave
that's
you
what
one, and now you're like,
that's
no,
what-
it's too complicated.
No.
Doesn't work.
Flying's not complicated, obviously.
All right, so yeah, flight. That's my one. And we can move on.
Okay.
Nick?
Mine would be that I can grant wishes like a genie.
Are you also trapped in the lamp?
No, I'm not a genie. I can just grant wishes like a genie.
Okay, so the extent of your genie likeness is
Just that I can
the
grant wishes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that would be fantastic because I'm not, flying or anything. But I could be like, dude, Bob, look, just fucking ask me if we can have a lot of money and a lot of beer and be famous. And then I'll take care of it. And then you just hand me over the money.
Question.
Yeah.
Are you doing 3 wishes?
I don't think so.
So it's an unlimited number of wishes for everybody?
I can grant wishes.
So it's up to you as to whether you grant them or not.
Yes.
So, so that's different than the genie, where like someone says, I wish for this, and you have to give it to them.
Well, I can grant wishes. I'm not saying I am a genie.
No, but you're
I don't
saying
want to be in a lamp and disappear.
the choice
and all
of
that
whether
other
or not you grant it is yours on yours alone.
stuff. Well, of course.
Okay.
Interesting.
So can multiple people wish for different things at the same time?
Well, I'm only one person, Bob. I can only listen to one person.
I'm saying,
at a
like,
time.
Or is it more like a Godfather situation?
If Cory wished for more money than Bob has, and Bob wished for more money than Cory has, then you'd have some sort of a paradox to
no, that would just
work
be
out.
ridiculous.
Of course it would. Look, let's be
But
honest.
that's what would happen.
Let's be honest. Anything Cory and I wish for is going to be ridiculous.
Well, yeah, but I have.
It's not
to
going to help mankind or save lives. It's going to be self-serving and ridiculous.
Do you think I'd be trapped by like held captive by another country and used as like some sort of tool of war?
Sexual fodder? Yeah, absolutely.
No, because then Bob and I can just wish that you weren't a captor of another country and you make it come true.
Well,
But
the
you'd
whole
have to
thing
get in
is
contact with
no.
me.
The problem with the genie thing was always that they were at the mercy of their master and the wishes they had. You have already stated like you're the only arbiter of whether or not you're going to grant it. So
Right.
how could you find yourself in that? You know what I mean? Whatever.
Because then they would just like torture me
whatever
until I
scrapes you
gave
get
them
in,
what
you just wish your way out. Oh, okay.
We say we want Poland. Tell us we
Okay.
can have Poland. You
So-
know, and I'm like, no.
Can
Bamboo
you
under the
grant your
fingernails.
own wishes?
No, I can't grant my
So
own.
you can only grant other people's wishes.
Yes.
So if you end up in a scrape, you need a buddy, so you can go be like, okay, quick, make that wish so you can get us out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
That's what I
So
was going
what you
for.
really need are some handcuffs. you need to be chained to somebody else where you can't be separated. You can always be there because you need a pocket person.
Yeah, because if another country captured me, they wouldn't be able to get through handcuffs.
There's no way.
No, but you
There's
need
no way.
you need someone always by your side to grant the wish that's going to get you out of the fucking mess you're in.
You know what
How
I
are you
think?
gonna guarantee
You know what I
that?
think would be a part of it?
What's that?
That anytime a wish is granted, I have to sing Prince Ali.
Oh God. So my first question would then be: is there anyone else who has these wish granting powers?
Make way!
Who doesn't also want to sing?
Hey, here he comes. He's a brand new star.
Okay, get him out of here.
Right.
I wish I wish to be deaf during the song.
I'm like, not again. Please, Bob. Everyone just come ask your wishes all at once so I only have to sing this one more time.
Nick, my wish is just for you to sing Prince Ali.
Ooh, you know what would be good is if you guys had to sing the whole song to get your wish.
I'd never wish for anything of that.
Yeah. I'd be all right just the way everything is.
I wish for you to grant Cory wish granting powers so I can go to him instead of you.
Yeah, I don't know, Cory. I wasn't feeling it on that last version of it. Try it again.
I don't need any wishes.
I think you guys would.
So, Bob, just so you're aware,
Yeah.
the Invisible Man, in order to be invisible, had to be naked. Clothes did show up.
But that's not a superpower. Invisible Man was a story by H.G. Wells where the guy was just a scientist. But if you're talking about like Fantastic Four, Sue Storm, or anybody else in comics who happened to have invisibility as a thing, the clothes were always part of the deal.
Yeah. I still think that's unfair.
I think you'd really want it that way. Would you really want me like, okay, now I got to strip down and I'm going to fly now?
I think you would fly, get in the air, and then take the clothes off, then get to your destination, find some clothes.
But if it was invisible flight, I wouldn't even be able to take off without stripping down.
No, you just see a T-shirt and a pair of shorts flying around.
Whipping in the wind.
Well, then I'm not really invisible. Then what's the fucking point?
Wouldn't see anything else whipping in the
You
wind.
would take them off midair.
No.
Mid-flight.
No. I don't need to be flying and disrobing at the same time.
That's just insanity.
I got other shit. I got crimes to watch out for. I'm trying to dodge planes and birds. I don't need to also be changing my clothes.
Yeah, where would you go?
I feel like there would be
anywhere I could.
There would be no crime
certain
watching.
flight patterns, but
I mean, where? What would you do? I mean, that's great to have, but it'd be very cold.
Well, that's why you can't be naked. I got to be able to dress warm and
It
then
gets pretty
fly.
cold up in the stratosphere.
Exactly.
Well, good thing
Cory wants me to be naked, though.
Good thing we can't see the little guy flying up there.
No, I'm going up to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to.
Oh my God!
I'm going
I'd
to
be
Mount
terrified
Everest.
to do that.
I'm going to Mount Everest.
Got to be thinking the whole time. What if these powers all of a sudden gave in while I get like halfway up to the top of the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, but then you'd be the guy.
Invisible
you'd be the
blood
guy who
everywhere.
got to fly but died trying.
No
Yeah,
one
that's something.
No one would ever know.
Plenty of people have done that before.
No one's had the power of flight before. Come on.
They've died trying.
Well, you could die trying to do a lot of shit. So you never said what yours was going to be. I felt like there's been a lot of build up here.
Oh, I didn't have one. No, I'm kidding. Adoptive muscle memory. So,
All right, cool. So
So you could go up to anyone.
no. Anything you watch, you automatically learn and know how to do it. So, like if you were to watch someone doing any sort of martial art, you automatically know how to do that.
It's like in the Matrix.
Basically,
you
in the
know
Matrix.
what the moves are, but you're not necessarily in shape to do those moves.
No, you automatically know it. Your body learns it. Your muscles learn it.
Nah, but now you're talking about two separate powers, right? The ability
No,
to
one-
learn the little bit, then your body has to actually change and adapt
grow, yeah.
to do
That's
the
why
thing.
it's adoptive muscle memory. Your muscles automatically do it.
fu.
So, but outside of something like that, I thought the best part about it would be like watching a YouTube video. Like you don't know how to fix something. Or
Yeah,
like
you don't watch enough
making
of those.
Nick's bar. Just watch a quick little video on how to make that bar, and next thing you know, knock it right out.
Oh yeah, because that's what you would do. I can build the bar, and I know how. I just don't
What?
do it.
I've got this adopted muscle memory? Excellent. I'm going to get in the car, go right over to Nick's house and learn how to make a bar.
Corey, I know you watched a
it'd be
video
on the
on how to
list.
make swans out of bushes. Can you come over here and trim the hedges?
I really don't have time for that.
It'd be very simple.
It's still going to be labor intensive to do these things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're just going to like snap your fingers and it's going to be done. It's
No, I
like,
get
oh,
that.
well, I
But
just
what
learned.
he's saying is, like, he could watch like the Magnus Veer Magnuson working in the strongest man in the world competition, and immediately, like, Corey's going to bulk up to be the size of a house, whatever, to lift whatever he's lifting. So is this a permanent thing, or is this like as soon as you're done, you're like, okay, go away, back to normal, plain old Corey again?
Go adaptive memory.
I've never really. I didn't think about that.
Corey,
aspect.
come on, you got to think about that stuff. Is it temporary? Is it permanent?
No, it'd be temporary. Whenever you want to use it or need to use it.
It's
Okay.
the amazing Cory.
Because Magnus Veer Magnuson would not fit in your car. Like you couldn't do that and then drive home.
Well, I can pull my car home.
That's true.
At least there's that.
But there's no
Corey,
car pulling.
Corey,
lane.
hold on.
You can
Hold
do
on.
it.
Okay. You were trying to put up one of the Schnozzcast lights at a height of about 6.5 feet, and you said you pulled something. You're not pulling cars home anytime soon.
But according to Cory, his muscles are going to adapt and grow and not be subject to pulls.
Hence why it's a
guess.
superpower.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't really be much of a superpower if you could do that, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my back.
So wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Is this why Cory's superpower is perfect? Is Cory going to be like,
All right, look at Nick here granting wishes. Oh, I can grant wishes.
Well, he can grant himself wishes.
are you going to look at me with my superpower and be able to now do it?
No, because that's something mental that you would be doing, not actually physically doing.
So it's only physical stuff.
Yeah. Actually, have to see it be done.
So is it like a Mega Man theory, like
Keep
where
going.
Mega Man where Mega Man beats one boss and he gets their powers, like it's the flame boss, and then all of a sudden Mega Man can shoot flames now, and he goes and kills like the ice guy, and now he has got the ice gun attached to his hand.
No, you can't necessarily adopt other superpowers. It's just anything you see.
What if you see somebody doing something super?
So what do you want? So you can see someone building a bar and know how to do it.
Correct.
But you can't see me granting a wish and know how to do that.
What if he had super bar building powers? Would you not be able to do it because they were super?
He has the power to go up on the roof and put up the heater coil. He just doesn't want to do it.
Exactly right.
He has all the knowledge.
Right.
He knows exactly where it's supposed to go. He knows where his little Fred Flintstone feet are supposed to step on the ladder, but he's not doing it. See, the problem is the doing. That's the problem.
You know how to make the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation.
Anybody could do it.
Not true. Not true at all.
I know you could do it. The thing is doing it.
Yeah.
Will you do it?
Right.
Well, I've got all the wood and I've got all the plans.
Just do it.
Right. Remember, he said, I'm gonna put levels up in my apartment. I've got all the wood, and he's, yeah. Well, I'll bet you money. Wait, you don't think I could do it? No, anyone can do it. Well, I've got all the materials. I've got all the wood. Yeah. So what's the issue? Anyone can do it. The issue is you're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know exactly how I'm supposed to do it. Well, of course you know how to do it. The thing is doing it.
This is all laugh tracking Seinfeld.
I kind of
Which is
figured
why,
that.
yeah. That's why we're getting a stone face from Cory.
Yeah. Got nothing for you guys.
So this is a psychologist's wet dream, this whole conversation. The fact that you would pick that particular superpower. There's a reason behind that. There's something we could deconstruct there about your deepest darkest fears and your insecurities and your dreams and hopes and fears and things.
I'll take a stab which you're willing to hoot.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty obvious what we all want, which is what Cory also wants, is just to be able to do things without having to work for them. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
That or if you just can't, if there's something you can't figure out at the snap of your fingers.
But you said it was more physical.
Oh, it's very physical.
Yeah, it's
It's totally physical based, whereas yours is very mentally based.
Right, but what he's saying is he physically can make a bar right now. He just mentally doesn't know how. So he would look at it and be like, I can do that now. So
Correct.
Nothing physical is going to change for that. It's not like you need like bigger hammer striking arms to make a bar. You could do a bar right now if I was just like, hey, look at this. And in theory, you could look at a YouTube video and they could show you how to make a bar.
Well, that was my original point, going like, what if you're watching someone do something that you physically, there's no way you could do? You're too short, not strong enough to whatever, and, is it then a temporary physical manifestation of a change that would allow your body to do the thing you just saw?
According to Cory.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he said, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But with the bar thing, you could just watch a YouTube video. Because you have the strength right now to build a bar.
But to me, it's like the instantaneous learning of it and having that knowledge that like it's not going away. It's
So
like,
the
it's like you've built 4,000 of them before.
So the fast-tracked 3 minutes and 45-second video you can't get through, you want to know it right now.
Well, you just still have to watch the video, but it all be completely always ingrained in your memory, and you wouldn't have to go back and like, oh, I forgot step 25.
that'd actually be a real superpower, is if you could, like, upon seeing something done one time, have it imprinted in your memory, and so have it literally be muscle memory where it'd been
that's
like you.
exactly what.
No, but I'm not saying
So
like
isn't that just like a photographic memory?
That's another word for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
people have that.
no one I know.
Not to the point where anything you watch that you're able to do. I mean, you can remember everything that you see or hear. But
If someone says they have a photographic memory,
Like a
isn't your
savant?
first response like, no, you don't? Like it's so rare that you could actually like see someone demonstrate it.
no one we know.
You're like, no, you don't. Prove it.
The guy that Cory made me do the thing on. Jacob. Jacob.
What? I don't know what the.
oh,
what?
Jay, yeah. He had a
Wait, hold on. It sounds vaguely sexual the way you left it. So explain in
The
detail.
Netflix documentary.
There you go. Okay. The guy that Cory had me do the thing on.
Grown.
gave Nick $5 and he went to town.
I mean,
$5 is $5.
But yeah, he had a
Do what you gotta
photographic
do.
memory. But to take it even further than that, there's a pair of a documentary they did on these autistic twins, and they literally have not forgotten anything that has ever occurred in their life or anything that they've ever viewed. So you could ask them what date such and such occurred on. They would give you the date, the exact time it happened, what they were wearing, whoever else they were with, what they were wearing.
yeah.
What the weather was outside, any day, and I think that they were in their 50s when they did the documentary, and going all the way back until they were like around 3, they knew every date right off the top of their head without even thinking about it.
Right. And my first response upon hearing you say that is, no, they didn't. That's what makes it a superpower, because I go, like, there's no way. It's so incredible to me that you could do that. It's like a superpower.
Seeing is
And
believing.
it basically, watching this documentary, I was blown away. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, because people do the exact same thing that they're like,
Right.
I guarantee you this date. It's such a mundane thing, they'll never know.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, on March 7th, 1971, like, oh, yeah, that was the day that so-and-so was killed, and it was 75 degrees outside, and people are like, Jesus Christ. Like, how'd you know? They're like, oh, we saw it on TV. And like, so you've remembered all these years. Like, no, we don't really remember it. We have computers for brains. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure where we're going with that after. We're still talking about your power.
Well, so this is the whole superpower idea.
Okay.
But
I think I wouldn't have come up with that particular one, but that's a.
I was trying to go for something that was a little out of the ordinary.
That's probably more practical power than any of the shit that we did.
No, mine's amazing.
Of
But
course.
but Cory's is more practical. It's literally.
But he doesn't need that power, because he could just ask me for it and I would give it to him.
No, he doesn't have to.
Well, if he needs any other ones, you know where to find me.
but he's not going to.
And remember, you can't wish for yourself, so at some point you're going to need me.
Yeah, that's a downside for you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I could imagine like getting into some sort of a pickle and you want to get out of it, but you don't have a friend you could tell to wish to get you out of it, and now you're fucked.
I think I would make a lot of friends if I had that power.
Well, then they wouldn't be friends, not real friends anyway.
Say.
Enough to get me out of a pickle.
They're always going to want something from you.
That's okay.
It'd be like being a famous person. You literally be like
the
Brad
caveat.
Pitt level.
The caveat would be if it took like a little bit out of me each time to grant that. That would be
like
the problem.
it aged you an extra like month every time,
Or like a
granted.
day. It aged me an extra day
Sure.
every time I granted
Yeah.
the power.
Yeah, I could totally see you losing a whole year like very quickly.
Oh yeah, because everyone would be bugging you. They'd be like,
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey man, I just want a tuna fish sandwich.
And I'm like, what's a day?
Why can't you give me what's getting off?
What's
Is it off of your nose?
What's a day?
Yeah, all right. What's one day for a tuna fish sandwich?
But then I could just say, Bob, wish for me to live forever.
I feel like
It'd be against the rules.
Yeah, yeah.
That, and I think that would just be something we could always just hold over your head.
I'm the one giving the wishes, man.
That's the thing. That's really the genius part of his power is he's the one that chooses whether or not he grants it.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
I'd be tied to one of these basement poles, Cory. I'd be like, grant me my wish.
Ow.
Come on, grant me my wish. Stop it.
What the fuck, man? That's literally you. All you have to do is grant one wish. Like you publicize the fact that you can do this, and maybe you demonstrate like one like medium level wish, and then you just to the highest bidder. Like, I'm only doing one more wish. Whoever pays me the most, that's what I'm going to do, and then you retire. You're done.
Yeah, that would work out well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anyone I can still grant
Nick,
wishes.
can you do wishes that? No, retired.
I can't do it anymore.
Yep. I hung up my wand, or my. I hung up my.
I would not have a wand. I'm not a fairy
I feel like you would.
I'm not a fairy godmother.
I feel like you would.
Pixie dust just comes off the person's head.
Alakazoom, a bibbity boom, a bibbity bobbity. Boop.
I was thinking more like a la peanut butter sandwich.
I would carry one. Everyone would be like, you know, that wand doesn't do anything. He just carries it around.
No, when I go to a holster, it'd be a badass wand.
Yeah.
Well, that's the great thing about a wand. The fact that it can do what it can do. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Everyone would want it. It could be the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, and you would it would literally be the coolest thing ever.
That is a solar star bendy yard ornament.
Why
It's a wand.
it'd be your standard gold thing with a star in the end.
Why isn't Nick carrying around that maple tree?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just his magic wand.
Right.
Oh.
Well, that was interesting.
I still think this song would be necessary.
How far in are we, Cory?
I'm an hour and 3 minutes, but that was also with like 10 minutes of the intro.
Okay. I guess real quick, I did want to mention. I was just thinking about it. It was an interesting. I got caught up in this. So, as you well know, on the weekend I listen to Little Vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Sunday mornings?
I do Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So I did a little In Excess yesterday morning, and this morning, being Father's Day, I had found at the store an Eddie Arnold album, in which there was two different versions, I think, of the song "Cattle Call," which is my dad's favorite song for some strange reason, and he used to sing it all the time. And it's exactly as ridiculous as you would think it would be. It's a lot of yodeling and big country flavor, and so it's the one time of the year where, like, I'll play that record. But since he passed away, another tradition that I've kind of made for myself is there's a movie called Frequency. Not sure if any of you dudes have seen that movie or not.
I feel like I have.
Have
so
I told the story
name.
before?
I don't think so.
No.
I've made it a Father's Day tradition where, like, I watch that movie on Father's Day.
Oh, that's cool.
It's if you're not familiar with it, it's Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel.
I have seen it.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid is a fireman, and Jim Caviezel is his son, who's a cop. And there's some fuckery going on with the Northern Lights and ham radios. And
Yes, it's
yeah.
The more and more you go on, it's slowly
Yes.
starting to come back to me.
yeah, and I don't want to. I won't say anything else about the movie because it's really, I love it so much that part of it is it's really well done, and there's a lot of like big name people in that. Andre Braugher plays, the police captain. The chick from Lost who played Juliet is
Oh, nice.
is Dennis Quaid's wife. So she's a really good actress. There's a ton of good actors there. It sounds like it might be like kind of a corny premise when you get into it, but they really kind of sell it. And I think if you're somebody's father, if you're somebody's son, it sort of resonates on that, that bond between father and son, which is really the point of the story. So there's like probably about 44 minutes in, there's a spot where I'm like, I'm just going to start crying. Every time. It doesn't matter. I know the story. I know exactly what happens. I know exactly when it comes. But every time, fucking Niagara Falls. And that's just the way it is. And it may not happen for women. It may. I don't know. But being a father and being someone's son, like for me, it just gets me every time. Mm-hmm. So I do that every, this makes me think of my dad. And I didn't notice again until this year that there's a particular date. It's not like a Back to the Future kind of a story, but there's a date where, one of the characters dies. And the date of the death is a certain day in October 1969, which is the same day that I was born. It has nothing to do with that. There's obviously no connection, but it
Were you born
just,
in 69?
Yes, sir. Yeah, on that day. Yeah, so a real weird coincidence, which kind of adds to the tugging of the heartstrings and all that kind of shit. So I did that today, and that was one of my Father's Day things. So if there's any dads out there, and you haven't seen that movie, you probably owe it to yourself, especially.
And the name was what again?
Frequency.
Did your dad ever see the movie?
Yes. Yeah. Not with me, but he did see it.
Did he like it?
No idea.
But you know he saw it.
I know he told me he saw it.
He said he saw it.
And that was just about as much as you could hope for with my dad. Like, did you watch what I recommended to you? Yes, I did. I told you I would.
I told you. So if I told you, I did.
Yeah. Can we move on
End
then?
of story.
Yeah. Well, let's just move on and say I did.
Oh, okay. He saw it.
You son of a bitch.
Take a break.
Yep.
Sure.
Guys, we will be back in 15 minutes from right
Let's just
now.
say it's 11:30. Yeah.
Right now.
Okay.
We're back from our 15-minute hiatus to the second round of episode 78 of the Schnozzcast.
Gentlemen, one more root beer.
Ladies.
Oh, one more sarsaparilla.
One more Ouzo in training. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely better than the Fireball, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You think?
Oh, yeah.
the doctor rarely makes stuff that's intolerable.
He's a good doctor.
I did want to mention for the music for our music fans out there, our listeners who enjoy music and are obsessed with music, as I am. There's a guy who I found him on YouTube. It goes by Vinyl Junkies, and I think he's got a couple of different shows that he does, but they're essentially like video podcasts. It seems like he's using something Switcher-esque to do it on YouTube. But the one that caught my eye was, I think the caption was, "Old guy listens to Radiohead's OK Computer for the first time." So this guy's got like a long scraggly beard. It's hard to tell how old he is. I'm assuming he's in his 40s. But he's sitting there in in his little studio, and he's got, microphone, he's got turntable, all that kind of shit. And he is...
Continue.
Okay, sorry. He's got like 6,000 records behind him in these big racks. And this guy is very passionate about I don't think he really understands how to interact with people as much as he does in the context of music. And so he absolutely loves music. And for whatever reason, he had heard about Radiohead as a band and heard that OK Computer was kind of their album that, broke them up into the upper stratosphere, and sort of everybody who likes Radiohead, loves that album, and it's been kind of like a life-changing album for them to listen to. So he's kind of going like track by track, where he would talk about what he knew about Radiohead, and then what he knew about the album, and then he would drop the needle on the record and play the first song, and just sit there, and the song would play, and so you could hear the whole song. But he's got, I think he's doing Facebook Live at the same time, so he's got listeners. He's got like 11,000 followers. So some percentage of those people were actually in the Facebook Live, and they were commenting to him about when to pick up the stylus from the record, and when the song's over, and their thoughts, and then he gives his thoughts on what he thinks about that. Like, oh, hey, I'm familiar with Radiohead, but I'd never. He's like, I think I'm the only one out of all the. It seems like everybody who follows me knows this album. I've never heard it, so we're gonna kind of go through it, and I'm gonna tell you what I think, and I want to know what you think. And it was a very sort of like organic back and forth that he had. So it struck me for a couple of different reasons, and Cory and I were talking about that out of the break. But one of them was that he was just so passionate about. I mean, I guess if you're inclined to check him out, I will say that particular video, the guy actually breaks down into tears at probably 3 different points, and I've only watched like halfway through.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow, he really, really cares about music, and really, really, really cares about the interaction between himself and his audience, the people who are listening to his podcast, watching the YouTube or Facebook Live, and commenting, and he's creating an experience where he's sharing it with them. And he's literally probably the only one in that group between him and his audience that has not listened to this album before. And so it's a very kind of an organic thing, and he's feeding off of it, and they're absolutely giving him feedback and comments, and he's watching the comments during the song where it hits like it hits the bridge or it hits the chorus, and you could see his head kind of nod like this, and he's a student of music, so he knows enough about music to know what he likes and what he doesn't like, and the other thing that struck me was, and Nick can relate to this, like he compared it to like making a stew. Like you when you make a stew, you want to
back to the stew. I see.
Well, you want to let it sit. You want to let it marinate.
Simmer, some might say.
Yes, some might say.
You might say.
Like, for example, I used to make. I once upon a time started making chili as a parent, as a father and a husband, and with really not a lot of time, and so I was using Chili Magic
as we've discussed,
to make my chili.
Here we go.
But since that time, I've stepped up my game a little bit, improved my recipe, and then thanks to Tiffany, got a recipe for Boilermaker chili that was really like a chili that I was able to make on my own.
Without Chili Magic.
I would put that up against any other chili I'd had simply just by following this recipe. But the metaphor to draw then between what this guy is doing is just that you spend enough time with one particular thing, and you learn to get good at that thing, and you learn to appreciate the experience of that thing. It's not about like, oh, when I sit down to a meal, it's not about satiating yourself right away. It's not about it's about enjoying the experience. Like, you want the meal to be served on good dishes, good silverware. You want to enjoy each course as it comes in. It's about the experience. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. So it was really, really informative for me, and pretty inspiring to see some guy just sort of really reacting with their audience in a way that I would love for us to do the same thing. Maybe it's something that can only really happen organically. It's not the kind of thing that you can orchestrate or program. But if you like music, or if you're a Radiohead fan, or you've heard that, oh, this is an album that lots of people love and you've never heard it, head out to YouTube and do a search for Vinyl Junkies for his old guy watches Radiohead for the first time or listens to Radiohead's OK Computer for the first time.
Sounds like it got pretty intense with him.
With him, for sure, yeah. Like I said, broke down into tears at least 3 different times before the album was half over. So
you liked it?
He was I think he's not a fan of like Bono and like the U2 sort of like over the top theatrics that might come from might show on an album where you're like, okay, you're forcing it. You're it's a little bit too much what you're doing. But and I think he found some of that on the first couple of albums that Radiohead put. Their first album was Pablo Honey, and then they put out the Bends. And after those 2 albums, they were really depressed, and they had toured like nonstop for 2 years to support these albums, and they were tired of the music industry and tired of being a band and tired of the direction they were going in, and they just decided to completely throw everything out and take a completely different route, and that's what resulted in this album, OK Computer, that changed not just things for them, but things for music in general, and it set them on a path that puts them in the Hall of Fame. So it was an interesting thing if you're a fan of music. So and I'll stop it right there because people who aren't a fan of music are like, move on, old man.
No, that's a good recommendation.
Move on.
Although Jay Kettles did. He's not a fan of Radiohead apparently, but
many people are not,
yeah.
And I totally get it. I totally get it. You're just as likely to find someone who's that passionate about Aerosmith. Ooh. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
I was trying to think of who's the polar opposite of Radiohead. That might be Aerosmith.
Might not.
That's true. It could be Eddie Arnold and Cattle Call.
So when did we lose our viewers?
This is it. 78. No, let's be fair. We've been trying to lose our viewers for the last 25 episodes or so.
Anything we can do.
Yeah. Yeah, we make everything look and sound better, but the content is just going downhill. Totally downhill.
Right down the mountain.
Yeah. So, if Cory, if you didn't have anything else planned next week, we might be able to hit Gentleman's Agreement.
We actually can. And
no fucking shit.
Well, the only reason
that
we can hit Gentleman's Agreement right now is, as everyone can see and hear, that we're doing this on Sunday night as opposed to a Friday or Saturday. I got mandated at work on Friday, and we were not able to do the podcast.
Yeah.
So, in lieu of not being able to record the podcast on Friday night, since I was stuck at work until 7 in the morning, I was able to fulfill my Gentleman's Agreement.
Really? Well, okay. See, things work out. You're like even Steven.
It was a little bit of a give and take.
Things just work out for me. I'd throw a $20 bill out the window. Look, found it in my coat pocket.
It's all coming together.
I'm even Steven.
So, yeah. Yes, I did watch my pick for Gentleman's Agreement.
As did I. Nick, did you?
Well.
All right. So it looks like it's you and me.
Okay.
No, I did.
You did?
I did.
Okay. Shall we go from oldest to youngest?
Let's do that.
All right. So as our audience will attest, I think I'm going first then. And so I was supposed to watch Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Vile and Shockingly Disgusting and Vile? Shockingly Vile and Disgusting. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Something and Something.
I don't remember that being the actual title.
I'm paraphrasing. But you get the gist. It's on Netflix. Zac Efron is the star playing Ted Bundy. Not a documentary, but more of a biopic, I guess, if you will.
You were close.
I mean, a biopic. So what's, sorry, Tori, what's Cory? Tori?
Tori. Oh, okay.
Tori.
Hey, Tori.
Hey, Tori.
Hey, Tori Amos. What was the title of that?
Oh, I love him being called Tori.
Oh, I'm so glad you do.
What was the official title?
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Shockingly evil and vile. Okay, I opted for disgusting, but
Close enough.
yeah. So my quick capsule review. I liked it a lot. I thought that Zac Efron did a really good job. You know, I haven't really seen a lot of shit that Zac Efron was in. I know he was like a Zach Morris, kind of like a Saved by the Bell guy.
Yeah, I think in all honesty, like it was his first like actual serious role.
Well, I'd seen him in Baywatch when we did Baywatch with The Rock.
Yeah,
I'd seen him in that, and I thought he and The Rock did a good like comedy team pairing.
right. They came together very well in that movie.
You saw that? You saw the
Yeah,
team? Okay,
yeah.
okay. So I knew he had some chops, but I'm like, okay, well maybe he just as good as like the foil for like someone as strong as The Rock, presence wise. But I thought he did a really good job. The thing that so there are two things that first of all, John Malkovich as the judge fucking killed it. And I'm a huge John Malkovich fan. Have any of you ever seen Being John Malkovich?
No.
I have not.
Holy shit. That is definitely going to be on my list of shit to assign to you fuckers when we do a future round, because it's the most batshit crazy movie you've ever seen in your entire life.
I mean, I've always heard good things about it, but never.
Not even
actually
just
watched
good,
it.
just crazy things. Like I didn't know they could do that in a movie. Like I don't know who greenlit the idea to like, yeah, let's do that. A movie with John Malkovich called Being John Malkovich, in which he is an unwilling participant in his own movie. Anyway, he killed it as a judge. There's a ton of big names in that movie. The guy that was in the original Spider-Man Sam Raimi trilogy and played Dr. Kirk Connors, who was supposed to become like the Lizard later on. Dylan Baker. He was one of the characters in so he's there. He's a terrific actor. And fucking Cory, did you know? Did you see James Hetfield?
Cory, did you know?
No.
Cory, did you know? Yeah, he plays one of the guards. James Hetfield from Metallica is actually in the flick.
I did not catch that.
Yeah. Yes, he plays one. I think he plays one of the guards when he's when Ted Bundy's incarcerated. But the weird part to me was that they didn't really spend a ton of time really focusing on the impact on the victims and their families.
No, they did not.
And that was weird. It was. I expected it, and when it never came, I'm like, that's weird that they didn't do that. Not that they were necessarily glorifying Ted Bundy, or maybe they were. I don't know what your thoughts are, but for me, it was at least, if they were going to glorify him, at least show the damage that to the family.
I think with a couple of the documentaries, they reached out and
they did?
a lot of the families wanted nothing to do with it.
That's actually
all right.
insanely untrue. Sorry, not to.
Okay.
No.
There's actually a full documentary where they just interviewed his wife and daughter.
Who, Ted Bundy's wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not the victims and their families.
Yeah.
That's his family. I mean, that's
No,
Ted
not
Bundy's,
his family.
yeah,
the families of his
victims.
victims.
of the victims. Oh,
Yeah.
No, there was victims also in there. They actually survived victims that they interviewed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought I read somewhere
That's good to know.
that a majority of them were like, we're done with this. It's been a very long time. It's a painful wound that's trying to heal, and they didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I'll find the name of the.
I'll find the name of all the victims right now. Call their homes.
Not all the victims.
Is it true? We're on a local podcast. Is it really? My name's Rory.
It was falling for a killer
Oh, that's the documentary that had
on Amazon
the family?
Prime. That's the actual family
Okay.
and victims they had on there.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that they did, because they certainly didn't in this one, and it was apparent that they didn't.
I feel like because they did an actual like movie cinematic portrayal of the portrayal.
Copyright.
That's right.
Cory Selesky 2020.
Of the Ted Bundy story. So, but with the documentary of Falling for a Killer, it is just that. It's a pure documentary. It's not cinematic by any means. There's no stars in it. So I think that's why they were willing to go for the documentary, because there was no one portraying them or playing them.
Yeah.
They were able to tell their story directly from their mouth. So I could see like where one of the victims would be like, well, if someone's playing me, there's all these middlemen and things can get rewritten, replayed. I don't want it to come out and it not be coming out of my mouth.
Right.
So I could see why for movie purposes, the production team was like, well, we're going to make this story, the way that we want it kind of written, which obviously there's a shit ton of truth behind it. But as far as for a movie, I think that's why you didn't see any of the actual victims or things like that portrayed, just because. Yeah. And I'm sure there's been lawsuits all over all these years of anytime someone's done a documentary or has said something about him, in the media, that they sprout up and say, well, no, that's not what happened, or blah, blah.
There's probably some literary license that goes into it as well.
Yeah, and maybe because it's a biopic and not a documentary, maybe it just wasn't the place.
Right.
To do it. I don't know.
Yeah, there is one full documentary, like I said, with all the surviving victims and girlfriend and actually his wife and actual daughter.
And I mean, not to say like, wow, this person, Ted Bundy was an amazing guy, because obviously he was not. But, I mean, talk about narcissistic and, just interesting, extremely interesting person.
Right. And I think that's the part that reels people in, is that, yes, he was by no means a extraordinary guy.
He was charismatic.
But he knew how to put that face on and be that person when he was face to face with someone in person.
Yeah, and
most people liked him, didn't
right?
They?
Oh yeah, everyone liked him.
I was super surprised to see Zac Efron be able to be that, charismatic with many layers, and you still knew what he was capable of, but his performance has sort of transcended that, and he brought it up to the point where like, oh, okay, I could see how you would fall, for his ruse.
Did you see the one with the actual video footage? Like, what was it? The Ted Bundy files? Is that what it was?
No, this is the only Ted Bundy thing I've ever seen.
Dude, it is.
Yeah, the Ted Bundy files have that's another like actual documentary.
It is creepily similar. I mean, they hit the nail on the head. Almost like the Queen movie, like how there were moments where it was very similar, frame to frame similar.
Yeah.
I mean, from the Ted Bundy files with him in the courtroom, and all that. I mean, it was eerie the way how similar he was to wanting to represent himself, wearing the same outfits. The judge saying no, sir. Like the judge, almost laughing and telling him, what did the judge end up saying to him, Cory? That
at the end of the trial, he said that
good luck to you, sir, or whatever.
He basically told him good luck. That he basically said he would have been a great lawyer.
You would have been an amazing attorney,
and that he wishes that they wouldn't have met in that sort of
circumstances.
Under those circumstances in that arena. And
because he defended himself, for some.
He got rid of all his attorneys,
which is what allowed him to escape.
Yeah, he basically became the person that he kind of wanted to be.
But by being his own attorney, he didn't have to be shackled, and that's what gave him the opportunity to make his getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
One of his couple of
when he jumped
escapes.
Sorry, spoiler alert. But when he jumped out the second story window.
Okay. Look. Sorry. When we say we're going to review Jones' Agreement, I think it should be assumed that we're going to do spoilery reviews.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So anyway, I liked it a lot. Please pass it on to Danielle, because I think she was the one who assigned it to me.
She was.
All right.
Hopefully, we're just sending thoughts and prayers out to Danielle that she's going to have a speedy recovery from COVID-19 and be back with us next week.
I wasn't aware she was sick.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately.
Oh,
I assume she's got to work tomorrow early.
Well, not with the COVID, no. Jesus. They won't let her come in.
All right, Nick. You were going oldest to youngest. That puts you next.
Yeah. What did I have to watch?
I'm kind of curious myself to hear what it is.
You
were pretty ready to give your review for whatever it was.
It was. I always keep forgetting the name.
Well, that's a key part of it, is the name.
Yeah, it was. Tell me the name again, because I thought it was something different.
Who assigned it to you?
You did.
I did?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep. 100%.
Oh, Middleditch and Schwartz.
Okay.
So you didn't watch it?
I did watch it.
Oh, okay.
No, I did watch it.
Okay.
I thought it was like I swear to God, I thought it was like Middle Cory and Rory.
So if Ben Schwartz and Thomas Middleditch have
I'm sorry.
Maybe for maybe probably not the best idea, use their names for the title of the show.
Yeah, I can't remember the names, but
Obviously very
I literally just told you.
Middleditch and Schwartz.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Middle Cory and Rory. That's how I remember it, and it doesn't help.
Now there's there's only 3 episodes. I think each of them are an hour long. How many did you watch?
2.
I'm pretty impressed.
I watched 2 episodes.
Yeah, your thoughts?
Fantastic.
Yeah, you really liked it?
Oh, I loved it.
I thought you would.
I loved it. It was hysterical, dude. It was absolutely hysterical. Do you know anything about it?
I do not.
Okay, so these 2 guys, I can't.
By the way, when did you find time to watch this?
Yesterday.
Awesome.
I watched it yesterday. I started watching it the night before. And I've been super, super busy this weekend with Father's Day. My brother in town, redoing the bathroom. There's a bunch of different things. But regardless, Middleditch and Schwartz, it sounds retarded. I'll give you that. I didn't want to watch it at all.
I got that too.
But I turned it on.
Yeah.
And
we're going to have 2 in a row because Cory didn't want to watch his either.
Just to give everyone an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of a mixture of like, which is nothing I watch, but like really good theater actors and comedians melded with Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate
because these guys, there's just 2 guys, it's a 2-man show, and all they do, I mean, they're very funny. They come out, but they're not like stand-up comics, and they come out to a theater like the Fox, the equivalent, of Letterkenny shows that we've gone and seen, like, where you've got like the the opera seating and stuff like that, and they come out and they just talk to the audience for a little bit. And they're both funny. I mean, you could just tell they're like either good friends or they've become friends because they're so similar. And they're both very comfortable on stage, and they're both naturally funny, but they're also both really good actors. And melded with that is their amazing improv comics. So basically they go out and they just pick someone in the crowd and they ask a question. What was the most difficult thing that you had to do in the past week, and what was it and why? And people just start yelling things out, and then they just single someone out. And they're like, so what's going on? So you're who? Oh, I'm Cory. These are my friends. Bob. This is so-and-so. Why are you guys here? How do you guys know each other? And they just start talking to whoever it may be. And they get whatever your story is. Oh, yeah, we do a podcast, and how we do the. Oh, yeah, you do a podcast? And so they go back and forth, and it's funny because a lot of times people on the spot sound like idiots. They're like morons.
No. What?
And they're just cracking up. They're like,
Isn't
okay.
that the bedrock of this podcast?
And you can tell that they're just like mentally logging all this information. They're like, yeah, oh wow, that's great. Okay, all right. And then the other one's like, I think we have enough information. Do you think so? He's like, yeah, I think so. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, this is Middleditch and Schwartz. And they walk back, and the lights go down, and they come back up, and literally they go for an hour improving based on what you told them. And they just go back and forth with it, and it's absolutely hysterical. So anyone that's involved in the improv, they have to be. So literally the only things on stage are 2 chairs. So like the first episode was about a wedding. They said that they were in town because there was a wedding, and it was this really awkward situation because there was this guy, and they used to just call him Short Paul because he was super short when she first met him in 6th grade, and they were dying laughing. They're like, really? So you call him Short Paul to his face? And they're, oh, yeah, he knows. But, so they brought up literally every key point that the people told them. They improv most of it, but they made up their own names, and they brought up all these basic little key points. So Cory would be in the story at one point, and let's say because he has shaky hands, they would say, well, I couldn't reach that because of my shaky hands, and they'd bring that up inside the thing.
I think, as I recall, like every time they each one of them, there's a lot of different people. I think there were probably 5 or 6 people up in that balcony area that they interviewed.
Yep.
And then there were their friends that they talked about. So there were probably like 8 or 9 different characters that were at one point part of the story. And at some point in the story, all of those characters are in the scene. So each of them has to play like multiple characters and take on different voices or accents or whatever. And so in one of them, whenever Short Paul's in the scene, like the other actor gets on the chair and he's like, and then I just pointing up.
But it was really funny because the first guy introduced like that he was getting, because they're not talking to each other, they're just improvising. So the one guy comes out and it's supposed to be a wedding because they said they were in town for a wedding. So the first scene was them coming out and him saying, oh God, I'm so nervous. And the other guy, of course, has no idea what's going on or what's in his head of like what he's trying to get to. And he's like, I don't know, this is the big day. And the other guy's like, it's your wedding day, right? And he's like, yeah, man, you're my best man. And he's like, of course I am. He's like, I didn't know till just now, and they're just going from there. So then there was one scene where they're about to walk down the aisle and the other guy like runs over to the chair and he sits in it, but he's got his feet to where they're just hanging off the ground like this. Right. And you can't, his feet aren't touching the ground. And the other guy comes out and he's like,
hey, Short Paul.
And he goes,
exactly.
he goes, hey, how's it going? And he goes, Short Paul? He's like, of course it's me. Why wouldn't you think me? So for the rest of the scene, anytime he was sitting, he had to have his legs hanging up off the ground. And so the other guy trumped him because the next scene, Short Paul goes to jump out of his chair and he like does this huge like exaggerated jump to jump out of his chair and goes boom like onto the stage and he's like, let me just tell you something. And the guy's like, hold on. So he gets on a chair and he stands up and he's like, you were saying? And he's like, don't you talk to my wife. And they're going on like this. So they do all these different little things, but then they get sidetracked and they completely forget who is all involved because a lot of times there's like 20, 30 people, like a wedding. So they're having to like take the chair and move it to the back of the aisle. It's like, hold on, I'm your father and I'm pretty sure my name's John, and he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you told me when you came in the room. And at one point, there was like some like one of the bridesmaids that came in and her name was like Marenga.
Some name that it would be really difficult for the other person to remember
and he's
when
like,
they have to be that person.
He's like, oh, hi, how are you? My name is Marenga. And he's like, Marenga? And she's like, oh, yeah, nice to meet you. So like later on in the scene, they're going back and forth, and they're doing a really good job. She comes back, and she's like, well, it was so nice talking to you, Paul. She's like, but again, I'm Amber. And he goes
are you?
Are you? And she's like, well, yeah, of course I am. And he's like, really? Because I'm pretty sure that you told me that your name was something different at the beginning of this. And she's like, well, that's what I go by. He's like, so you go by Amber? And you hear like millings in the crowd. Yeah. He's like, so I'm pretty sure. And they both kind of said at the same time. They're like, Marenga, right? And she's like, Marenga's my real name, but Amber is what people call me. So through the whole thing, it's absolutely hysterical. It's really funny. And then they just dead end it.
And that's on what?
Netflix. They dead end it. Like all of a sudden they've had enough and they're like, all right, I'm Middleditch. I'm Schwartz. Yeah. Thanks for watching us.
This has been our time.
And people are just crying, laughing, especially because they never panned to who it was, but you can only imagine that they were out of control. Hysterically. I mean, this Short Paul guy was just a brief second in what they were saying. They were like, well, the awkward part about this is because Short Paul, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, who? Like, oh, it was this guy I knew in 6th grade. Well, I dated him, and he's actually going to be at the wedding because he's a friend of a friend. And they're like, oh, okay. And then almost the entire show had Short Paul in the show.
So you call someone Short Paul, you got to run with that.
Short Paul is like, what the fuck?
And that's the thing about improv. I've never done it, but I've watched a fuckload of it. But it's that general rule of yes and. So if somebody says something to you that you're not expecting, or like they're clearly teeing something up to you, and you're not really sure what they mean, you don't go like, I don't know what you mean, or like, what? You go, oh, of course, and blah, 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 and you just roll with it, and you just make something up, and you're like, okay, clearly they're throwing it back to me. I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to make something up, literally pull it out of my ass.
Dude, it's hysterical. But it's funny because
a skill that would really serve us in this podcast quite well, I think.
The introduction of Short Paul,
after 78 episodes, you would think.
He walked up and he saw him, with his feet hanging off the chair, and he's like swaying his feet back and forth. He's like, hey, how's it going? He's like, you must be, he's like, Short Paul. And he's like, you call yourself that? And he's like, well, and then he starts laughing, and he's like, so many people have called me it throughout my life that I just refer to myself as it sometimes, but you can call me Paul.
And his legs are like swinging the entire time. Like an 8-year-old boy.
He's like, really? He's like, because I found that weird that you would refer to yourself as Short Paul.
And they're not afraid to call each other and like, okay, I know I dished it off to you and you did yes and had to make it up, but I'm gonna call you out right there. Like, really? Is that what you meant to say?
Dude, I thought one of the funniest moments was when they were because they're not the same character. So like another time, like if you're playing Cory or something, and all of a sudden you want to run over and play another character, you're over here now,
and I'll pick it up, and I'll play Cory.
You'll be like, is that true, Cory? And then he looks over to a blank chair, and the other guy's like, and he runs over and he's like, yeah, that's true. And now, so he's Cory, so they're taking on the characteristics of whatever they set up.
And not just for that line, but until they can change the scene where he goes, like he's Cory, and he's going to have to be Cory until he finds some other character to be to get out of that chair.
So it was funny because the one guy was actually, the minister. So the other guy was running back and forth, like holding his hands out like this. He's like, oh, you look so beautiful. You look so beautiful tonight. And then he was like, do you take so-and-so, so-and-so? And he's like, and he runs over to the other side and he's like, I do. And then he like runs back. And so then at another time, somehow the other guy runs over into the bride's spot and he's like, jumps out and he's like, you may kiss the bride, and he like walks back and they're both like staring at each other like this because now he's the bride and he's the groom, and so then they have to obviously kiss, and then they're like, oh my god,
Yeah, there's so much of it that you go, well, this is genuine. Like there's no way they could have scripted this or planned it ahead of time. There's just no way.
If you've ever enjoyed like watching SNL where Jimmy Fallon was playing off of another actor, and just like Will Ferrell was being so dead-faced, and Jimmy just couldn't get through his lines because he was cracking up so much because it was all live and on the spot. I mean, there's a lot of that, and it's kind of evolving with you and with them at the same time. And they said, you're about to see something that only everyone in our audience sees, and it doesn't go any further than this. He's like, unfortunately, now it's going to go much further because this is a Netflix special. He's
right.
like, but so apparently they used to just travel around and do that.
Yeah, and when I watch, I got through the first 3. And by the way, are you gonna at some point catch the third one? I'm so glad that you liked it. Mm-hmm. But I could have watched another 10 of those. I'm like, there's only 3, so I really hope they come back and do another season of it.
Oh my god, it was hysterical, but it was cool because it was set up like a live comedy show.
Yeah.
But there's just, it wasn't like the static face on camera that Whose Line Is It Anyways has, where you're just watching the 4 of them run around. There's a camera from the stage looking up. There's a camera from the top looking down. They switch back and forth. There's like an in-your-face camera.
Yeah, there's so much movement between the two of them on the stage, especially when it gets to those big scenes where they're playing multiple characters.
There's a lot of up close, and it's not just that you're looking at 4 chairs on a stage and the camera never moves. Right. So it's very, I would rather watch the 2 of them any day than all 4 characters of Whose Line Is It Anyway. And especially because Whose Line Is It Anyway, they do it for like, 2.5 minutes and then they're done and they go on to another topic.
Yeah.
This they have to keep it going.
This is like a full show. I mean, even if you went to like Second City, if you guys ever gone down downtown to Second City.
I
and see the
I've
show.
never been there, but I've heard plenty about it.
It's a great time if you haven't done it. They've got them in Chicago. They got them all over the place. There's been one downtown Detroit for decades. It's absolutely worth going to see a show. I remember seeing Keegan-Michael Key in the show that I saw down there, along with Larry Campbell, who ended up being on the show. Like Jim Belushi had a show where he was playing like accordion to Jim or something like that, and Larry Campbell was his sidekick, but he was in that show that we saw, and literally one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life, where Larry Campbell and some other guy came out on stage, and there were 2 chairs, and that was it, just 2 chairs side by side, and they got it, and they walked out on the stage so like in slow mo, and then like they were getting in a car, they opened the door, and they both sat down in these chairs. And they started driving, and in the background they played LL Cool J's "I Need Love," which is a slow song, but they were all moving really slow, and they were like waving to people, and they were pointing, and like different things were happening, and, like different like swerves that they have to make. They were all moving slow. It was the funniest thing I think I've seen on stage, personally. So, but even Second City doesn't do one sketch for the whole show. They do many different sketches. This is simply like one premise. We're going to stretch it out to take it to its logical conclusion. Like we're going to beat it to death.
Well, and that obviously takes a shit ton of talent to be able to.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
To do an entire hour like that and not having a script for it or anything pre-planned. But Key and Peele were exactly who I was kind of thinking about when you were giving the description. You get 2 guys like that have worked together so long. And I mean, it's all still improv, but the fact that they know each other that well to be able to pick up on certain things, like what the other guy's, going for, what he's trying to get at. They can finish each other's sentences. And I think that's what brings more humor to it, that they kind of know what they're going for, but you kind of got to give it that little pause to think about, like, I think this is what he's trying to say, but is it? Because if I say it, there's no going back on it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the one guy was like grabbed his chair, and like you could tell like the gears are in motion in one of their heads. He grabs the chair and runs way to the back, and it's supposed to be a wedding. So he moves it way to the back, and he's like, "I am here. I want to say something." And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And he's like, "I want to do this, blah blah blah." And so when he's finished talking about what he's talking about, he runs over to suddenly be the minister, whoever it may be. And he's like, whatever his name was at the time, like Gaston or whatever. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Gaston, did you have something to say?" And the other guy's like, so the other guy runs way back into the chair, and he's like, "Yeah, I had something to say." And he's like, "Oh, Gaston." He's like, "What? Your accent seems to be changing. Where are you from?" And he's like, "Wait, hold on. How am I supposed to sound again?"
I was Italian, but now I feel like I'm from Bulgaria.
And he literally ran. He's like, "I think something is wrong." And he runs up, and he's like, "Gaston, what did you say?" So it forced the other guy to run back and be Gaston, and then he heard his accent again. And he's like, "Oh, okay." So he comes back. He's like, "I think I got it now."
Yeah.
But
I'm really glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
All right, buddy.
Oh, Jesus.
It's down. It's come to this. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Oh, have you?
It's been building.
Oh, I'm so glad.
So you were supposed to watch what?
Inglourious Bastards.
Yes, indeed. And
Another
did you
Tarantino
watch
film. I did.
Start to finish?
Start to finish.
Did you leave the subtitles on?
I did.
Okay. And your thoughts?
Well, obviously the subtitles were the worst part of well, actually I shouldn't say they were the worst part of the movie.
Okay. There was something worse than that. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Start from the beginning.
So you decided to go on with the Tarantino theme that you've been going with. Inglourious Bastards was filmed, or it was brought out when? I don't know the actual year.
Probably.
It's safe to say, though,
10 years ago?
It's the newest film out of all the Tarantino films.
No.
No, that I've watched. That out of the list that I've watched.
We've worked chronologically up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's newer than everything else you've watched.
Right.
Yeah.
So the cast in it, the first shining part that I'm like, okay, maybe this won't be so bad, is seeing that BJ Novak was in it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, from The Office.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, though, didn't play a very big role in the movie.
No, not a huge role.
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't terrible.
The movie wasn't terrible. That's your review.
Yeah.
That's your one sentence
Dude,
review.
Brad Pitt's accent in it. I think to me that was the biggest downfall of the movie.
You didn't like his accent?
I hated it.
Corey gets
Why?
hung up on little things like that.
He does.
The clapping, the accent.
It's fine. Look, he didn't have to like everything I suggest. All I'm asking for is to try it. That's it.
I mean, and with Tarantino doing it, obviously plenty of good scenes. Like the scalping scene when they first discuss the Inglorious Bastards, and they show them in the little valley that they just slaughtered a bunch of Germans, and they show them scalping the Germans because that's what they're known for.
I don't
Good
know
time for me to get up.
I don't know how you watch that. Like, now, Werner, I'm going to want you to point your wiener schnitzel-licking finger down here and tell me what I want to know. You know, like that. That's a fantastic scene.
There were a lot of good lines in it, and right now I obviously can't remember all the little comedic points that came up in the movie, but like I say, it wasn't. I want to give you shit about it, but at the same time,
Go do what you're going to do.
No, because it was actually. I mean, it was bearable. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. I said the subtitle thing wasn't as big of an issue as I imagined.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. What were your thoughts on the opening scene in the farmhouse?
It was good but predictable.
Predictable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once it kind of going with Hans Landa coming in and once that kind of questioning started, you know, and you could see the look on the homeowners or the father's face that
right.
Like, oh, this is obviously going somewhere, and then little creaks in the little slats in the floorboard that you could see, that he was hiding right. Jewish people under his floorboards. That I'm like, okay, well, clearly, Hans Landa's already onto the idea here, so that wasn't too shocking of a scene. I mean, it was well done as far as acting wise. I think with who was the guy that played Hans Landa?
That's Christoph Waltz. I think that is the scene that won him the Oscar.
And throughout the entire movie, I can see why he got an Oscar for it, because he definitely did a great job in the movie. So the farmhouse that it was all right, which I don't know how that really got him the Oscar. I said the movie in general I could see. That scene alone though.
That scene alone, because you don't know. He has a way of, you don't know whether he's good or bad, earnest or scheming, and the way that Tarantino just lets the conversation go, like he's just willing to let it go for as long as he needs to go. Like they're going to talk about, and Hans Landa is going to put the farmer at ease, and lull him into, they're going to talk about everything other than what they're going to talk about. And they're literally to the point where you're like, okay, this just seems like a routine visit, that he's just there to have some milk and, smoke his unbelievably huge pipes.
That was kind of ridiculous when he's like, you mind if I smoke my pipe? And he reaches in his pocket and pulls out this huge horn of a pipe. It's
literally this big, this pipe that he's smoking. Because the farmer had already lit his pipe. It was like a corn cobby thing.
Yeah.
Right. So just giant German pipe. But the fact that he went back and forth between English, German, and French so easily, and he made that switch from not innocent, but you're really unclear as his motives, to like he literally turned a switch and all of a sudden he's menacing. Right. All of a sudden he's the villain. You knew it. And you're like, oh shit. And
I mean, as far as for the rest of the movie, it was a good character setup to know what his kind of personality was going to be for the rest of the movie.
That was the thing with this character. You never knew what he knew and what he didn't know, and whether or not he knew it and was hiding it, or whether he didn't know it yet.
Right.
And that between that scene, the scene in the, when they're at the screening, when they first meet the Italian cameraman, to the scene when they're in the restaurant eating the cake with all that cream and stuff, to the scene at the end where he's the strudel, right? At the scene where he's trying to negotiate the terms of his surrender. You just don't know what he knows or what he doesn't. Like everything. And that's really what won the Oscar for him was you never knew what was coming next. Nothing about what he did was predictable, even if the situation, like the farmhouse, might have been predictable. He was the firecracker in the whole thing.
I say as far as character setup, then yeah, for the rest of the movie, it definitely did that. But one of the I think the best scene for me was one that he was completely left out of till the very end was the tavern.
That is when Inglourious Basterds was released. That scene was hands down like Tarantino taking it to another level, like the greatest thing that he'd ever done was that tavern scene.
Yeah, that really, I mean, it did leave you on edge the entire time for the entire back and forth. And you obviously have the British officers that are, acting as German Nazis and coming in right away. Like they already knew they're kind of going into a bad situation.
Right.
But seeing the reaction of when they actually get there and like, oh, this is an even worse situation now because there's actual German officers here. And then when the, and this part really stuck out to me as far as throughout that entire dialogue with the German officers, not officers, but the German soldiers sitting at the table, and then the other British guys portraying themselves as German officers, sitting with von Hammerschmark.
Yeah.
That the captain or the major that you never see for the first basically half of that scene.
Back in the corner, yeah.
That he's sitting back in the corner.
SS officer?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you never kind of realize until once he pulls the needle off the record that he was basically back there listening to, like if you actually listen to the music of the scene, he was kind of back there listening to everything, and the music goes along with all the dialogue.
Right.
So, like a subconscious level, it's, if you think about it, he was basically sitting back there playing the music to what was going on out in the tavern.
Yeah.
And I think that was like, to me, one of those things that Tarantino does that if you're not really listening to both, you're not going to pick up on.
Yeah.
So once he took that needle off and there was no music for the rest of that scene, I'm like, okay, I think that's kind of what he was trying to get at there was that he was sitting back there trying to play the soundtrack to the dialogue of what he was hearing. Right.
Fucking genius. So even if you're watching a scene where they're literally playing the
card game,
the card game, it's not as innocent as a card game scene. Like something else is happening, and you have to pay attention.
And with that too, as far as going down to with the three, and how the British officer did, he put up the three fingers like this, and that was his tell that he wasn't German,
right? And the fact that we didn't know that until he made it
right,
and the jig is up.
Yeah, because you could tell that was exactly what made him realize that he wasn't a German officer. Right. But you're kind of like, well, wait, why? How is it that?
Yeah, and you could kind of tell that something changed. The vibe changed then, but you weren't sure what it was or why. And it had to be explained, but you were just like on the edge of your seat going, what's happened? Is the jig up? Like, what happened here?
And then with once the guns were drawn and out and all that, there was a huge back and forth of like, okay, the British guys they have the upper hand. Mm-hmm. But then the German officer would say something. You're like, oh, wait a second, everyone's going to die. Yeah. And then it was a complete back and forth of you didn't know how that scene was going to finally fully end. Right. And then to just end in a complete barrage of gunfire.
The version of another version of the Good and the Bad and the Ugly Mexican standoff. The same one that they used in Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
The same one that they used in. I'm thinking of the Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez Dusk Till Dawn thing, but that's not been
Clear and Present Danger.
Sure, there's the same one that they used in Kindergarten Cop, the same one that was in the Trolls movie,
Jaws,
Mexican standoff.
Yes,
that scene, the tavern scene, was. I've been wanting you to see that scene for so long. When I've been like, oh, Cory, Inglourious Basterds, like you have to see it, and you're like, no, fuck that, subtitles, not a fan. And I'm like, but the tavern scene, like you can't be a Tarantino fan and not have seen that. Like it's a criminal act. So that was the one scene I was worried about because even though that was like to date the greatest scene he's ever filmed, just technically as a director, it was also like tons of subtitles. Like this is Corey's not. He's going to see this and like I'm afraid he's going to turn it off before he really even gives it a chance.
And I think the one thing that's kind of saved the subtitle idea for me was that the action was moving at the same speed as the subtitles, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of and I think I should say I know the reason why I dislike subtitles is because when you're sitting there doing all that reading, a lot of movies tend to not play along with that and go. You're still reading a subtitle while the scene is changing.
Right.
And I think Tarantino did a very good job with making sure that you were still able to see the scene and see what was going on, but also still be able to fit in reading the subtitles. And there was never anything terribly long. All the dialogue in the subtitles was a sentence or two. And there's been plenty of movies with subtitles that, I've seen a half a paragraph that they put up. And it's like, well, how are you supposed to read
back and forth?
How are you supposed to read that? And you can see above it, the scene's changing. You're like, well, I just missed that because I was reading these fucking subtitles. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't, the subtitle issue wasn't terrible. Tarantino definitely did a swell job with,
wow.
Well, so what did you think? I know this is going on for a while, but I've been waiting for this for a long time, and fuck it. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to break it up with a shot before these get warm.
So if you have one, grab a shot
and
right now. And if you don't, pause us right now. And we're back. Time for a shot.
All right, here's to you.
Cory goes,
so much back and forth with the shots tonight. Fireball, root beer, fireball, root beer.
yeah, we keep you on your toes.
Yep, on your
Yikes.
tippy toes.
So all in all,
No, hold on.
No.
Okay.
Hold it. Back the fun bus up, my friend.
I want your thoughts. So the last thing is in the last 30 minutes, the rewriting of history. What are your thoughts? Should he have done that? Should he not have done it? Did it work? Did it not work? Did you see it coming?
Did you not see it coming?
right in the eye. It was unfortunate sound effect. With Hans Landa basically saying that he was gonna Hans Landa.
Oh,
that he was basically saying that he was with them, and
I think the story was you need all four to win the war, right? You need Goebbels, you need Hitler, you need Himmler and Goering.
Heisen, Gertrude.
If you can't get all four, you won't win the war. But if you get all four, we can end the war tonight. And you are no longer in a position to do that because you are my prisoner. But I submit that it will be me. And you don't know where it's going from there. Like, are they? You know that they've captured a couple of the bastards, but that they haven't captured a couple of other ones. But you know how history ends. Right. And so you're expecting the movie to follow history, which most movies do. And when it doesn't, that's where I'm like,
Well, and I think that was a very cool and interesting take on it too. The idea that, if something that minute could have happened, it definitely would have changed actual history. Mm-hmm. So for Tarantino to kind of look down that path and say, well, what if something like this would have happened? How would things be different now? I definitely didn't see that coming out of that character. That basically I'm going to turn on my country and help you guys out.
Yeah.
Especially given some of the acts that he committed throughout the entire film. Like,
right.
this guy's hardcore through and through. He would never turn on one of his own. But then that other side, that is never really shown during the movie, but you kind of see, like, once he says something like that, you're like, well, okay, I could see where his character is out for himself.
Yes.
And he's only, when it's coming down to it, he realizes that it's getting this close to where, he would be included with Hitler and all them, mm-hmm. with, being killed and or being offed in the entire situation.
Yeah.
So time to save my own skin and be on the side that's going to come out winning on this.
Right. If I could feather my nest, let's do that now.
Then I'm definitely going to look out for myself. And
yeah.
It's shocking at first, but then once you think about the character throughout the entire movie, you definitely realize like, well, that's just who he is, and that's who he's going to look out for himself no matter what.
Right.
So I think for the ending of it, when Lieutenant Aldo turns on him and basically goes against the agreement.
Yeah.
And kind of putting the whole historical fact back into like, okay, even something like this did happen. There was a guy that righted the ship, and that's where we're still at today. But no, I think that that decision made by Brad Pitt's character was, there's no way you could trust someone that they just turned on their own country, and they say, "Oh no, I'm going to help you out."
Yeah, you'll be shot for this. It's like, I don't think I'll probably be chewed out. I've been chewed out. Before.
I've been chewed out before. Yeah, so
that and when Brad Pitt's character, like, he's been rocking this like Appalachian mountain man accent the entire movie, and finally at the end, it's his idea for them to impersonate Italian cameramen with a German movie star.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. That's his first, and you're like, oh my god,
it's Buongiorno.
And the fact that he's not this, and to me, this is the genius of the Hans Landa character and why he won the Oscar. In any other script, for someone to come out with their big reveal, like it's his idea, like I speak Italian, and he comes out like Buongiorno. For Hans Landa to not immediately go, okay, you're under arrest. For him to just play along.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he's playing the long game, and he'll get to Aldo Rain, but right now he's looking at Bridget von Hammersmark, and that's where I'm focusing. And let me just steer the conversation toward why you're wearing that cast, and perhaps we could step aside and you could explain to me why what you were doing skiing out of the Alps, and for no reason,
right?
So yeah, it's a interesting. I'm just happy you made it through it, man. Because honestly, I by the time we got to the tavern scene, I'm like, I really, really hope he'll just keep it together to be able to watch that scene.
Yeah, and like I said, luckily I had nothing else to do at the time, so definitely helped out. But no, it was much better than what I predicted in my own mind. So
yeah,
good call.
All right. Do we want to draw for another round, or
we might as well?
All right, let me see if I can get this Excel random thing to work. Oh, thanks, man. Pigeon Hill oatmeal cream pie from Muskegon, Michigan, courtesy of Nicholas Q. Bader, Esquire.
Happy Father's Day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Happy Father's Day, Daddy.
Stop. All right, so if I leave it like this, then I get Cory again, you get me, and then Cory would obviously get you, or I could continue to.
It's fine with me.
I don't know if Cory's gonna be happy with that.
Because
that means I get him again.
Oh no!
Like I've had him for the last 2 or 3 times. Which I don't have a problem with. But
how about I get Cory.
Okay.
Cory gets you. You get me.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
You get me.
Well, but I gave you the last one.
Yeah, but I skipped a couple weeks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because you just gave one to Cory, so you can either give one to Cory or me or yourself.
Well, look, no, this is how we ended up. Like the one that Cory just gave a review on, I gave to him. The one you gave him, I gave that to you.
Right. But,
I've literally given.
Right, but you gave it to me several weeks ago, so in theory, since Danielle's not here.
Yeah, okay.
There's what is the other alternative? Who are you?
No, there's no. The only alternative is to try to mix up some other combination here that people will be happy with, but I'm fine with that.
Right, because you can either give it to me or Cory.
I feel like Cory would probably like a break from Tarantino for a while.
Yeah.
At least for 1 week.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to give him Tarantino movies.
Well, that's true until I get through all of them. Why would I stop now? All right. So, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Bob gets me. I get Cory. Cory gets me. Or Cory gets Bob. Right?
Yeah, that's how that works. So
Cory, you're giving one to Bob. Bob's
trying to
giving one to
think.
me. I'm giving one to Cory.
You got one already?
yeah, does anybody have one already?
I do. I have a whole list here.
All right, so you're giving one to me? Okay.
I'm going to save that other one for Nick. Let's go with Voyeur on Netflix.
Voyeur, Voyeur.
Correct.
Okay, is this a movie or a documentary?
It's a documentary.
Okay. I don't need to know anything else about it. That's fine. So it's a one-time, like a 2-hour documentary, I assume? Like, I just have to watch it, and that's it?
Nah, I want to say it's maybe...
Is it a series?
No, it's just one solid documentary.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find
But
it.
unless it's a 3-hour-long documentary, then I just need to watch it. Which I'm totally fine with. Kermit the Frog fingers.
What is that?
Yeah, there's a little whine now I can hear.
Now you hear it?
It's very, very faint.
It just started happening.
I do not know if it's going to show up on the audio or not.
Turn down the switcher volume.
That's it. Oh,
I
Nope.
can,
Now I
still
hear
hear it.
It's when we stop talking. Nope.
I still hear it. It's that new update.
Watch.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
I'm sure it could be.
Now it's gone.
Yep,
It's gone.
we're good.
Okay.
Nope. There it is.
It could be that Alan Christensen move that we did at the beginning of the podcast
With the
There it is.
with the compression or whatever the fuck he told you to change.
no, that has nothing to do with the audio.
You sure?
Yeah, that's all video.
Oh, okay.
The Voyeur is, or not the Voyeur. Voyeur is 1 hour 36 minutes.
Oh, no problem. Yep, I'll take it. Make it a note, sir.
So have
Make it a note.
you or you
Wait, who are you giving your
the
pick
two,
to?
no, but the two you. I want to know
Okay.
of these movies: Confession Killer in the Tall Grass, Dark, The Highwaymen.
I've seen The Highwayman.
I am not
I've seen The
okay with
Highwaymen.
this.
I've seen The Highwayman.
Yeah, it's the only one I've seen out of.
The only one you guys have seen is okay.
That's the only one I recognized out of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Cory, I'm not sure where you're going with that, but
Cory, I give you In the Tall Grass.
I thought you were giving it to me, but
Nope.
that's cool.
Bob gives one to me. I give one to Cory. Cory gives one to Bob.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
That's on what?
Netflix.
Netflix.
In the Tall Grass.
All right. Fair enough.
Did you say it was on Netflix?
Mm-hmm. In the Tall Grass. Just type it in. Don't just start scrolling through Netflix.
No, I'm not on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Do you have HBO?
No.
Fuck. All right, dude. I'm sorry.
Go me.
I'm sorry, but this is going to cost you $4. I'm
Oh.
I'm totally willing to
That
Venmo.
makes perfect sense.
Totally willing to Venmo you $4. I'll PayPal you. Tell you what, I'll pay you. I'll pay you
Yeah.
on PayPal. But I'm going to give you the trip to Italy.
I'm going to write it down right now.
Actually, sounds worse than the Inglorious Bastards.
Bob's on a roll right now. Hold on.
For you, it would be. Yeah. But for Nick, I think Nick would like it a lot. I like to tailor my picks, Cory, for my audience. You got to know your audience, sir. The Trip to Italy, you can rent it for $4 on Amazon, on Apple, on Google Play, or YouTube.
Sounds good.
You don't even know what it's about.
Should I?
Let me read
I've
you.
not seen it before.
Let me read you the synopsis. It stars Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon.
Steve Coogan. Good actor.
Seriously?
No idea.
You have no idea. Who that is.
Steve Coogan Mellencamp?
Yeah.
All right.
So let's get...
What the fuck, man? Years after their successful restaurant review tour of Northern Britain, Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon are commissioned for a new tour in Italy. In fact, let me give me a second.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm gonna have to fucking wait, should I not be PayPaling him $4 for this? Because none of us have ever given anybody any money for what we've. I'm just offering.
I mean, that's up to you.
But I don't want to break precedent because then
No, there's no break. That's a double-edged sword, Bob. It's a
it
double-edged
is.
sword.
It totally is.
Given the times, I'll allow it.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna
Thank you, Cory.
We're gonna make a change then. Instead, you're gonna go with the trip.
Oh wow!
So there's literally they've done 4 or 5.
No, this doesn't cost me
Nick
any
Bader,
money.
they've done 4 or 5 of these movies, and The Trip, made
Okay,
in
The Trip.
2011, is the very first one. It's just The Trip. It still stars Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, but it's the
Gotcha.
very first one of a quintilogy of films.
Ooh, a quintilogy.
Yes. Put that in your fucking giant German pipe and smoke it.
You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad it's not a Quentin Tarantino fucking trilogy. That's
I'm sure
all
you are.
That's all I'm happy about.
I'm sure you are.
I was looking for a sextilogy, but
So let's just go. Let's just go with either Amazon or Google Play. I don't know how you get your movies.
Amazon.
Amazon, $4. Okay, I will.
Oh wait, so I have to pay.
No, I will PayPal you the money.
What was the first one? $4.99.
No, it's the same $4 charge.
Okay.
Let's go back to. I didn't realize.
Oh, you wanted to go to the first
the
one.
first one.
Start to base.
In case you like it.
So you want to
I got you. Okay.
continually know what you're going to give me next.
Absolutely.
so this is Nick's new Tarantino.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if he legitimately is like, this is the worst god awful piece of shit I've ever watched.
Oh,
And
That's
then the
fantastic.
power went out.
I got it.
Wait, is the camera still on?
the camera's still on. It's still
Okay.
light.
That's fine.
I would say just turn on the overhead.
If you can.
One of these chords.
Alrighty then. Yeah, no. Let's start with the first one. It's just The Trip.
Yep, got it.
All right. I'll even leave it up on my laptop so you know which one it is.
I sent it to my.
And I got yours, Cory. Voyeur.
Yes.
Sorry.
Netflix.
Don't fucking mute me.
I muted myself.
No, you
After he
muted me
burped.
for a second.
No, I pressed this
Oh, it was
ear
still- it
button.
was
What
still-
does that do?
All of a
it's still
sudden,
very loud.
I couldn't hear what I could.
What does this ear button do?
Turns off the headphones.
Yeah, it turns off all the headphones.
All of them?
Sure.
Oh, that's amazing because they have one for each slot here.
Well, whatever you did, all of a sudden I couldn't hear shit.
That was for Bob's headphones, apparently.
Great. Can't wait.
Gentlemen's Agreement done.
Now another episode of Danielle's Word Box. We're going to get Danielle on the line
Let me
here.
call her real quick.
How far are we in?
We're with a 15-minute break, about 2:05, 2:06.
That's not bad.
No,
Is anybody watching?
I don't have the Facebook Live up. I just see the comments coming up.
All right. No problem. You guys want to do pick of the week and then wrap it up?
We can do pick of the week, and then I have one more thing for you guys.
Oh, do you want to do your thing first? Or do you want to do pick of the week first?
We can do pick of the week.
Oh, already. I will go first. I don't think I've gone first on anything yet tonight, so I will say, just finished season 4, which actually just aired, just dropped probably a week ago on F is for Family on Netflix.
Very good show.
I'm a huge Bill Burr fan.
It's amazing.
Cory is a huge Bill Burr fan. We went to go see him live, and he's had a big month with season 4 of F is for Family, as well as The King of Staten Island with Pete Davidson, where he plays a fireman
Disgruntled
with a
firefighter
huge porno mustache, with a fire engine red porno mustache.
Porno broomstick.
It's a big cum catcher. So, but he did do season 4 of F is for Family, and it's really fucking good.
I have seen all the other seasons. I have yet to see season 4.
Yeah.
So
I saw that it was released, and I'm like, I got to get through this before I start anything else. I'm like, I can't let it go.
Yeah, you have a lot of stuff on the hopper.
A lot of stuff in the hopper.
Got to start some new stuff.
Got to start
first.
some new stuff first.
There's so many things.
So many things
that this fucking
that
asshole
this fucking
here
asshole
told me.
I told
that he
him.
couldn't start or finish
because
he has too many other things.
So many things
going on.
A lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm. You say a lot of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't wait because I got to start a new series.
I can't wait because I got to start a new series. I say that all the time.
Always these new series.
That's my pick of the week, gentlemen.
F is for family. Nicholas Bader.
Passing it over to Nick.
No, go ahead, Cory.
Pass it over to Cory.
I'm going to piggy tail off Bob's pick.
Mm-hmm. Are you?
I'm also going to recommend F is for family.
No, I did watch King of Staten Island with Pete Davidson.
Worth it?
It was definitely worth it.
Yeah? Okay.
I paid the full $20.
Well, hold on. I thought you had Apple TV Plus. Apple TV?
I do.
It's not free on Apple TV?
It's not free yet. It's nowhere near free yet.
Fuck.
So, and
I was thinking I was going to just get it the
No.
trial for Apple TV and I would get it.
no.
God damn it.
So and that was the issue. Anytime I'd pull up Apple TV, that was like their highlighted movie of the.
Yeah,
it seems like the past
it's a
month.
huge splash screen.
Yeah,
Right.
And then it starts playing the trailer, and I've seen the trailer 15 million times.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh my god, I want to see this movie so bad.
Right.
And finally on was it Thursday night, Daniel and I went to eat. Came home and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, I'm paying the $20 because I really need to see this movie. And it is definitely, to me, it was worth the $20. But that's why I used it as my pick rather than giving it 10 to you guys as far as a part of the gentleman's agreement, because obviously $20 would be a bit much for gentleman's agreement. But
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Of course.
and
Dude, there's a chance that buzzing might be your phone. Can you put it on the floor? Just for a experiment. Okay.
so
still hear it.
I don't hear it as bad. Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Of course, you could argue why you need to look at your phone while you're in the podcast, but just saying.
Because I have to reference things.
Yeah, do you?
I do.
Okay. I would argue that's taking away from the comedy gold that we're trying to build here.
Well, I have to reference something that I'm going to give for my pick of the week.
Son of a bitch.
Now here's another experiment. I'm only hearing it when I speak into this microphone.
So am I.
Oh, so Cory stopped speaking? Perfect.
Fuck. No, it's the only time when you guys were talking, I didn't hear it.
You don't hear it now when I'm talking?
It's
yeah,
I feel
family
like
in the
when we
background.
stop talking.
All right. That's what people want to hear.
Hold on, everyone
Tell us
stop.
more about
Hold
the
on.
technical difficulties.
Everyone
you're
stop
having.
right now. Hold on.
Okay.
No, stop.
We're
stop.
still on a podcast.
I know,
We'd
but
have to-
I'm
we'll
watching
figure it
the
out
levels to see who it is.
We can figure it out afterwards.
Anyhow,
Oh, the levels.
I was seeing it spike with Bob, but
You know what?
anyhow. So was that it?
Yes, King of Staten Island. If you want to, feel free to pay the $20. It was
You know what? You might as well, because that's how movies are going to go for a while.
yeah.
Right.
You're not gonna be able to go to theaters for quite some time and go see them.
Yeah.
So I say I wanted to keep that one in the back pocket for a gentleman's agreement, but I don't know how long it's going to be. You're going to have to pay for it even on Amazon or Apple
Right.
TV. So
Right.
So
that'll be my pick of the week.
All right.
I have a pick of the week that everybody can get on board with.
We'll be the judge of that.
Yeah? Well, will you?
Oh, yeah.
So my pick of the week is Chef Michael J. with The Freelance Chef.
Oh, good pick. I really apologize, man. I wanted to. That was.
Yeah, we did say we were going to talk about
Yeah,
the
and
food.
we should have. And we've now made it over 2 hours without even mentioning him. You know he's really not watching, so it's not like it makes it
Or listening.
tinker's damn what we do.
Not
but-
many people listen to the end of podcasts, so we'll have to bring this up at the beginning of the next podcast as well. But yeah, my pick of the week. So my uncle, by marriage, is from England and is a chef, and that's about as much as I knew about him. Recently, I've gone to hang out with him several times. I love to cook. I love food, and he's taught me a million things, and I've learned a lot about him. Apparently, he's not just a chef. He trained at the same school that Gordon Ramsay did at the same time. He knew the guy. Apparently was not that nice. That aside.
How you say?
Yeah. That aside, he's world-renowned, trained at the Savoy School, Savoy Hotel in London, all over the place. And has his own catering company, has his own restaurant out of his home, has a mobile food truck. This is not a small potatoes operation of selling tacos kind of thing. The guy makes all kinds of amazing gourmet food. I don't understand how I've seen him at family events for so long and not known this much about him. He's an amazing guy. He makes amazing food. Self-proclaimed has no filter, which I can attest to. But I guess that's the British in him. He is not a braggadocious kind of person. You kind of had to milk it out of him to get him to talk about himself. But, he's been written up in several different periodicals and just is an absolute brilliant mind to pick. And I've had the pleasure of being able to train under him for a while. And literally, I don't know if it's a healthy meld between someone that wants to learn and someone that wants to teach, or someone that just really knows how to teach. And I think it's probably the latter. But he's an amazing teacher. He's an amazing chef. And if you want and you're in Michigan, any of his stuff, he's in Brighton. He's on DoorDash. He's on Grubhub. You can find him on Facebook at the Freelance Chef LLC. You can find him on his website, which
www.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Apparently,
normally websites start with
they do.
www.
But yeah. Apparently, he put this together, and the website is not very friendly.
No, the website is
user friendly.
The Facebook link is not as intuitive.
So it's just developmentchef.com.
www.
DEVELOPMENT chef CHEF.com.
Not the chief.
Not the chief.
The chef.
There are some people that get him confused. So, but oh my God, the guy he's got so many reviews. That aside, the Grubhubs and the DoorDashes, right?
The Grubhubs and the DoorDashes.
That's got nothing to do with
the robots,
the snippets and the clippets.
The snippets and the clippets.
They're all 5-star. But that being said, when you see the training the guy's gone through, it's like, what? Why are you doing Grubhub and DoorDash when you could be your own 5? I mean, He worked at one of the top places in London for food. As Bob brought up, the Beatles have a song about, what was it?
It's called the Savoy Truffle, in which the lyrics are literally the I think it's George Harrison sings the lyrics in that song.
Savoy Truffle.
It was
I know.
cream tangerine, and they start listing all these different desserts, and then the chorus is, but you'll have to throw them all out before the Savoy Truffle from the Savoy Hotel in the 60s. I guess it would probably be like mid to late 60s. So therefore, it was the famous truffle dessert at the Savoy. I'm not sure what you're not picking.
So
I
got it.
As delicious as all the food was, you'd have to throw them out because you're going to want to have the Savoy
absolutely,
truffle.
Yeah.
So Savoy also, I remember when I was with him and kind of under his wing for a couple of days. There was a girl there that had gone through culinary school in the States, and he said to me, you know what the Savoy is? You know what Savoy is? And I'm like, nope, I have no idea. And he's like, do you know what Savoy is? You know what Savoy is? And he says to her, and she's like, well, of course. And I look at her and I'm like, fucking bitch, you don't know what the fuck Savoy. What the fuck are you talking about? And I look at her, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck is Savoy? You don't know what. And she's like, no, seriously. In culinary school, all these expensive ass books I had to buy were made by Savoy. So I'm like, holy shit. So he brought me out all these books, and, you know, to wrap it up, I mean, he would flip these books open and be like, literally our instructors would open these books and be like, boom, whatever this name is, hard to pronounce, go make it. Don't look at the book, make it.
That's crazy.
And that is,
Can you imagine?
That is absolutely insane. I mean, these are like 1,000-page books.
I have imagined, and that's why I'm not
Yeah. And
gourmet chef.
So anyhow, the guy's brilliant. He makes amazing food. I've had the opportunity, the pleasure of working with him for a while, you know, under him and trying to learn. And if we made this past week lobster bisque, you know, anytime I have free time, I brought it home to you guys.
Which, speaking of which, if you could hurry up and wrap this up so we could go upstairs and I can finish my lobster bisque.
Corey actually said, I don't want to take mine home with me. Leave it here the next time I come.
You're a fucking idiot, dude. Because I've been eating nothing but lobster bisque for the last 4 days.
Because
did your kids get any?
You didn't give any to the kids?
No, Cecilia had some. Jack opted. He's like, I'm
I'll
good.
have a pizza.
So I'm like, perfect. More for me.
Oh my God.
The plan, because this
So
was
yeah,
on,
ultimately, I'll end up eating 3 out of the 4. Yeah.
this was on Thursday night, so in my head, we were coming here to do the podcast the next night.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, leave it here. I'll have it tomorrow.
Sure.
Well, obviously that didn't work out.
Mike did say when I asked him, I said, how long would it take? He said 5 days.
Oh, I figured it would be still fine.
Yeah, it is. But he said 5. So regardless, anyhow, what I'm trying to say is we made it from scratch. It was delicious. He's got a million different kinds of food. Look him up, the Freelance Chef on Facebook. He's in Brighton, Michigan. That's how you'll know to find him. You can order stuff on his Facebook page, on his website, thedevelopmentchef.com, developmentchef.com. But take a look at his menu. You can actually, I think you can go on Google and search him for the Freelance Chef. And
Development Chef.
No, he's the Freelance Chef.
Development Chef.
That's his website.
Yes. If they're going on Google, that's what they're looking for is the website, not the Facebook page.
If you type in the Freelance Chef on Google, it'll come up with his menu and everything.
On the Facebook page.
Nope, on Google.
No, it's the Development Chef.
Regardless.
What the fuck?
We're going to talk to Uncle Mike about
we're really going to have time.
Hiring me as a media manager. That's what
Hold on, let's try it on air right now.
Why not? Why not?
Freelance.
It's an audio podcast. Why not just start
the Freelance
surfing
Chef
random websites?
LLC, and it comes up right here. First thing you see.
Yeah?
There it is.
Go to it. Hit website.
Yeah, that's what his website is.
Hit website right there.
But you can search the Freelance Chef.
Developmentchef.com is where it takes you.
His website is garbage.
Fuck you.
Anyhow.
I win.
You can order, if you're anywhere in the area, you can order on DoorDash. You can actually show up to his house, order it right there.
He probably call first.
No, definitely not.
Definitely show up unannounced. Yeah.
Hey,
camp on his lawn.
He has an entire stainless steel commercial size kitchen. He's got a.
Was that your pick of the week?
Stainless
steel.
$140,000 food truck, all stainless steel. Spider burners, fridges. I mean, everything. The guy's got more food than it's food coming in all the time. Absolutely delicious. If you're in the area or you want to order it or you know me personally, let me know and I'll get it to you.
Awesome.
Michael J.
All right. One more thing before we wrap it up. Nick, I just sent you a text. Okay. Because you triggered my memory with your uncle, I've changed my gentleman's agreement. Now, hold on.
For the third time.
Hold on. This is actually very appropriate for what you're doing with your uncle. Okay. And it won't cost me $4.
And I get out of the $4.
And I knew it.
Well, hold on. If you hate it, then if I get you, if my assignment is to you again, I'll give you the trip. But for now, I'm giving
Can I watch it? Tell you I hate it, and then watch the other two, and you owe me $8.
$8? No, $4.
Because I'll watch the other two as well. Because this is the third one now.
So you're gonna watch 2-hour movies just to spite me? That's fair.
I'm sorry, we can't return a garment based on spite alone.
All good things come from spite. No, in that scenario, I'm good for $4. So if you legitimately watched the Chef Show on Netflix for free and didn't like it and decided to go with one of those other movies, I'm good for $4.
You know what I am, Bob? Yeah. I am absolutely excited.
Look, I just told you can watch the Chef Show.
Hold on, Bob.
Get a free movie on
Wait
me.
a second. Hold on.
Free movie on Bob for $4.
I'm excited.
That's how much I believe in it.
I'm excited that you are so much in tune with our friendship that you are way too excited that you have tried to give me three different things to watch within like 10 minutes because you're like, you'll like this, you'll like this, you'll like this.
Yeah.
To me, that's an homage.
Well,
I like it.
I'm not sure if you know the definition of homage.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Let's hear it.
I like it.
Let's hear it.
That's the Schnozzcast for episode 78, ladies and gentlemen.
I do have one more thing for you guys.
Oh, God.
Do you want me to change my pick again? I'm happy to do it.
Trust me, there's another 3 minutes left, so it's going to happen.
Not?
Actually, Nick.
I'd like you to watch Batman Forever with George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's a huge change.
Yeah, well.
So it wouldn't be a full Schnozzcast episode, and I've been waiting to show this specifically to Bob. A little bit.
You might want to leave the room.
This is my penis.
Very intimate.
This is my penis, Bob.
Between
Uncle Cousin.
Oh, yeah.
Of Funko This.
Oh, not an episode of Funko
Dude,
This.
we almost got through an episode without Funko
And
This.
that was, I think that was the soundbite. Funko This with Cory.
Might have been.
I think it was.
All right, let's have it.
Well, so the whole reason I'm more than excited to show the Funko for this week. That's right.
Sorry, go ahead. I couldn't resist.
I'm going to switch over here so everyone else on that's viewing can see.
Why would you deprive them of
Depravity
whatever
is not
you're
a good thing.
Yeah.
Of course not. We would not want to do that here on the Schnozzcast. So, the
Suspense is killing me, sir. What are you going to do here?
Funko for this week is a one
Judge Smales.
Judge Schmales.
You know what? God damn it, Cory! You have somehow melted the ice around my frozen heart with that Judge Smales.
What the fuck is that?
Judge Schmales from Caddyshack.
Oh, I literally thought he had like a katana. It's a golf club.
No, it's a golf club.
Okay.
Never seen it.
Which he's getting ready to throw.
Yes.
Up into the top balcony at Bushwood. All right. So Cory, I'm going to take a note right now, but I'm so glad that you showed me this because I needed to be reminded that Nick
has not seen Caddyshack.
Has never.
Please let more people get on board with this.
Caddyshack. 5 exclamation points.
I think that definitely needs to be one of his picks.
Yeah.
And if I happen to get him one of these episodes, remember to give me a little nudge that he has not seen that yet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'll put the Funko Pop right next to him while he watches it.
That's right.
You know this guy now? You know this guy now?
That's fantastic.
It took a lot of digging at a GameStop, very very deep in the shelf, but.
So for me and for Nick, for Jack, and for those family and friends of yours that are aware of this unhealthy, some might say bordering on basic instinct level of obsession, fatal attraction level obsession with
maybe an obsessive compulsive
with Funko Pops.
Sure.
What are the the
parameters,
the golden goose that you're chasing,
number one.
You found Judge Smales. What are the ones where you're like, oh, if I could only get a hold of this?
I don't think there is a golden goose. I think with Cory, it's Oh my God, I didn't realize they made one for X.
And I see it on the shelf and I have to buy it?
Yes.
Okay. So it's right in the moment, you're saying?
I don't think he's constantly searching for one. I think there's one out there that he wants that's
Well, hold on.
expensive.
He's finished different collections, though, right?
Yeah.
Like the Office collection.
I finished the Office collection. I've finished...
Legend collection with Val Kilmer and
Oh no! As a matter of fact, I just finished for Danielle's birthday. I finished one of the collections that she started for herself. So we finished that one. Which
Happy birthday!
I don't
the
want to give away.
Clueless collection with Alicia Silverstone.
They actually do make those, but no.
Do they? Okay.
Still working on Super Troopers. There, we just finished. Oh, Married with Children.
Yep.
Yeah, we
That's the
did
other
see
one.
that, unfortunately.
Right.
So my honest holy grail, I was fortunate enough to get it very early in doing this with the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
But now it's kind of going after like the entire collection of The Big Lebowski.
Okay. So anything but the dude, that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
That's your white whale?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
But then the other fun part to it is going out, finding all the characters from Caddyshack. All the ones from Super Troopers. And there's a ton out there that, obviously like Marvel Comics and all that are easy to find. But stuff like this, like this is the only one I've actually seen in person, not going online and just buying it from eBay or whatever.
So how much of the satisfaction here, apart from you getting it, is the posting to the Funko Pop Facebook group to show off what you got?
Oh, fucking love it.
To hear other people go, holy shit, I've been looking for that forever, and you found it? Like, how much of the
it's not necessarily so much
that?
I mean, there's some of that to it but a lot of the guys that are in that group, they'll just go online and be like, oh yeah, I can go on eBay and find one.
Right.
But like I said, finding this one at an actual GameStop and being able to, and I haven't posted it on there yet, just for the fact that you said the other day, even though you're not part of the group, you still see the post. So I didn't.
Sadly, yes.
Unfortunately,
if I could change that, I would.
I didn't want to put it on
almost
there
immediately
and
I would.
spoil the treat.
If there was a way
Yeah.
that wouldn't be too involved, that we could change it.
If I needed to take a set of pruning shears and cut off one of my fingers in order to make that happen, I would consider it.
Actually, let me get in touch with the guy that runs the page. That might
Find out what the ground rules are.
pruning shears of the finger. Okay,
Yeah.
we can make that happen.
It's odd that I wouldn't just like delete the Facebook app. I'd rather take a finger off. But
Teach their own.
Yeah.
Teach their own, sir.
The thing is that I never agreed to join the group.
Neither did I. I'm not part of that group.
And it's still like Cory Lebowski in a group that he invited you to just post
because we're Facebook friends with him, and so
Son
even
of
though
a
we're not part of that, he's like, they're like, oh, you're Facebook friends.
So
And
what's the point in joining the group?
There's no point. No point at all. Think of how many more.
I was going to say, you'll just get a lot more posts like mine.
If we had accepted.
Oh my God. I need to
that's
click on like
amazing.
the three little dots and say, I'm not interested in these notifications.
I want to report you to the FBI.
Yes.
Taking you right to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Funko This for this week.
Oh, good, because that's probably way too much time to spend on Funko Pops.
Well worth it.
Ladies and gentlemen that are not listening or watching. Yeah, they're not.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Thank you for listening to / watching to episode 78 of Schnozzcast. Right, Cory?
Yes, and we'll see you next episode.
Absolutely. Nick?
Be good to yourselves and each other.